All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Black Male Survival Guide, where our mission is to educate black men, particularly young black men, about the realities of black American or African American life. Um, the goal is to get black boys and black men in a position where we can make better decisions based on information, data, research, that type of thing. Now, today, I was trying to avoid this because I didn't want to make the show necessarily about black women. Um, but I knew eventually we were going to have to address black women. So today, um, we have what I consider, I don't know if he considers himself this, but I consider a blue pill brother we're going to have a conversation with about black women in general and, what our ideas are and stuff like that. This is kind of impromptu. I was gonna do this later, but let's do it. I'll let you guys have the floor first. Oh, and if you want me to look something up, I have the. Can you guys see my internet that I'm sharing? I'm sharing my screen.
Okay.
Before we even get started with something that was on totally on a different thing, go ahead and finish or reintroduce. Is our friend a blue pill brother,
Yeah, and
red pill or black pill, and what does that mean? So if we use it later in this conversation,
okay,
our
get some
listeners.
definitions out. Well, from blue pill, like if you ever seen The Matrix, means that you know you you're in the Matrix, that you're in a a system that may not be, or an I well it was a metaphor for you're in an ideology, or you're in a social system that may not be real, right? So in the black manosphere, when we say blue pill, we're talking about um, our thoughts about the society itself as it relates to women, and because the United States in many ways is still a very chivalrous nation. The whole girls are made of what is it, spice and everything nice, and boys are snakes, and however that saying goes. So we still harbor a lot of chivalrous attitudes, but with the advent of second wave feminism and now third and fourth wave feminism, the realities of the dynamics between men and women have changed drastically since like the 1940s and 50s. So having a blue pill mindset might might get a lot of black men or men in general into some situations that may not be very advantageous for them. So that's basically what the blue pill is that you still have certain uh, traditional ideas about the relationships between men and women, and then the red pill is more about accepting that women can be just as evil, just as greedy, just as murderous, just as rapey, just as carnal, um, just as any negative aspect that you can think a human can have. Women are just as capable, and understanding that women are capable of that, and then moving on from there. And then lastly, the black pill, as explained by the master teacher BGS Ibmore. He says it's below morals. It's understanding that once a certain uh, once a certain ideology has uh, become widespread, it's very hard to get a large amount of people to change unless their environment drastically changes. So you have to make adjustments based on that. Um, but yeah, those are basically what the three pills represent.
Okay.
Now, and I wanted to add too. There's people take different philosophies when you hear certain things. I wanted to interject, and I wanted to say, if I had to say something like, I wanted to ask Mr. Avidia too. Have you ever heard of the iceberg slim?
Yeah. Yeah. I've read the book.
That would be red pill. How about NWA? I would say that would be red pill. Now this is my opinion.
Okay.
But when you hear bitches ain't shit, you know the song. I'm not saying I sing it. I didn't make it. But you
Yeah.
heard that song and it's real old. So this is not something new,
Yeah.
right? When you get what I'm saying, and if have you read that book Iceberg Slim? Somebody
Uh,
forced me to read that at a young
yeah.
age.
Yeah. I've read the book. Yeah.
Did it change your life any?
No, it was a lot of information in there. It's a lot of good information in there.
You said yes or no,
Did it change my life?
and how you
I,
how you interacted with women.
I would say yes and no. Well, yeah, it did.
And
Like I
I'm not
said,
saying did it make you a pimp. To
no,
be,
no, no, not. I mean,
I'm
I
no
know.
pimp for anybody listening.
Yeah,
I'm no pimp either. But did it
yeah.
change how you interacted with women? It changed your view a little bit, didn't it?
Of course, it changed my view because
Eye
it gave
open.
me.
That's what people mean by when they say red pill. That
Yes, but
that would be one of my first instances of it.
Now,
If I said I wanted to get married before I read that book, and I got married after I read that book, marriage would have meant a different thing to me.
can I
Would you agree or disagree?
say that again. I'm sorry.
If you had gotten married before you read the book Iceberg Slim versus after you read the book Iceberg Slim, would being married mean the same thing, or dating?
Well, I read it when I read it a long time ago. I mean, I would say in my, I said I was, when did I read it? I read it when I was in like in my 20s. So yeah, did it change the way I look at my outlook on women?
How about what you spend on dates?
When I
One
spent on it,
category.
oh, no, 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 it didn't affect me in that way. No, it
Did you
didn't
spend a
affect me.
lot on dates before you read it?
No, I never had to spend a lot
well,
on it.
I just want
No, I
to.
never had to spend a
I
lot of
don't want
money
to
on
get.
dates.
I don't want to get too much
No,
into. I don't want to get too much into.
no,
Hold on,
no,
Mr.
I just
V.
went on
This
dates.
is interesting
I know,
though.
but I don't want to get too much into people's personal
Yeah.
lives on this.
Well,
Well,
I will say this.
he's
Wait,
welcome to ask
no,
me because I'll be honest.
listen,
I didn't.
Hold on. We can't talk over each other, guys. We can't talk over each other. I will say this. Now, I could be mistaken, but I remember Irony Ose Frimpong, the philosopher that has that YouTube channel. He I think he did a show about Iceberg Slim or another pimp. I don't know if it was Iceberg Slim himself. It might have been somebody else, but I know it was a pimp. And one of the things he wanted to point out when he talked about the pimp that he was talking about was that the reason why he had such a hard take on women is because he was abused by women sexually and physically when he was very young. I believe it was by one of his family members. So I think this goes into what I was talking about earlier about red pill and understanding that women can be just they can have just as much deleterious and evil intentions and actions as men, and a lot of that goes underreported. It goes under criminalized in the society. Even
Did you read that book yet?
which book?
Iceberg Slim.
No, but I got the gist of it.
And no,
Yeah.
because there's a dimension that's very important in that book that people miss. There's a and it's if we're to be gentlemen, right, and we're gonna take a lady out on a date and spend money on her, why is she the same woman willing to go and do something horrible, and then from the money she gets from it, give it 100% to this man over here who does zero for her, only ruins her life until she's absolutely useless? Why is that psychology winning in a dude that's willing to get married and really support someone, even more so a man who's willing to become a stepfather?
Look,
Why is
well,
he a
let's
clown?
be precise. Why is it winning in the black community?
listen.
Well, the
I,
person that gets the most women, the most money, comes out. That's the win, isn't it?
No, no, no. I'm just making the question more precise. Why is it? Because look, this pathology has affected other communities, but it's affected the black community the most.
okay. let me ask you this. I mean, just to piggyback on what you're talking about with Iceberg Slim's book. All right. Let me ask you this. Have you ever read the autobiography of Malcolm X?
Of course.
It was a while ago. I was real young.
Okay.
I read it a
All
couple
right.
times.
Okay. Have you, like I'm trying to think of like the Detroit Red or trying to think of the what chapter is in. He speaks, or it might be like the Hustler chapter.
Hmm.
He speaks about, I mean, literally, because I read that before I read Iceberg Slim book, so
Hmm.
it put it in perspective. You follow me? Because he basically was echoing everything that Iceberg Slim was. Now, Iceberg Slim was going into detail. What he was basically saying that, yeah, the women that he was pimping, these women, and most of these, the most of the Johns of the prostitutes that he was pimping out, these were good guys and stuff like that. But the sad thing about it is that their women, they knew more. They were giving they were given to the men that their own wives weren't able to give to them, and they were worldly. They knew what was going on. They knew the game. They turned him on to the game. You follow me? Meaning that, yes, he learned a lot, in that years that he was hustling and, doing the numbers and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, he understood that it was the environment. If you have the environment that, if you have the level of a beast, you're going to start acting like a beast. If you don't have any outlets of opportunity, yeah, you're going to be like that. And that's the thing that Malcolm understood once he started to become Malcolm X instead of Malcolm Little. He understood that, okay, this is a gilded cage. They think that they have freedom. They think they have all these opportunities that they think they have, but they really don't. And I think, we start looking at the symptoms, thinking that, and not looking at the causes for, and I think that's which is the birthplace of all these blue pill and red pill ideologies, is because you're focusing on the symptoms, and a lot of people are trapped in that. The one thing, the red pill and blue pill, I mean, that whole ideology, where when the course, what are you, the sisters now, when the whole ideology of the red pill and blue pill, that choice is, goes back to, yeah, Christianity, about them eating of the fruit, and the serpent saying, listen, this is a tree of knowledge. And that's, I had a conversation with a Satanist, and the Satanist was telling me, you know, Satan was freeing man. It was helping man. God wanted them to be ignorant, wanted to be, to keep on being in this facade of the Garden of Eden. And Satan gave them the tree, convinced them to eat of the tree of knowledge, and they got wisdom. Yeah, they got the knowledge.
What type of Satan?
I think,
What type of Satanist was he?
huh?
What type
I
of
don't, I don't,
because there's
I
different
don't know.
types.
I think he was
There are people
this.
who actually really believe that there is an actual Satan and they worship him, and that's rare. But then there are Satanists who are basically atheists, and they use Satanism just to troll Christianity.
No, I don't think he was trying to troll me. No, it was just an honest
No, no,
conversation.
no. I'm not saying he
Stuff.
was trying to troll you.
Oh,
What I'm saying is that
he,
there are atheists out there who use
What did he
Satan.
believe?
Yeah, they use Satanism to troll Christians. For example, right? There's a group of Satanists out there, right? Who they truly believe that there should be separation between church and state, right? So every time a Christian tries to put like a Ten Commandments monument on like a government ground or whatever, they'll put their Baphomet.
oh, no, no, no. No, no.
But
He
they're
was
trolling. They're not. They're making a
not. He
point.
was
They're
not.
not. Yeah, they're not actually.
No,
They don't
no.
really believe in
To
Satan.
the
Yeah.
no, no. He. I think it was more of a philosophical. I don't think, he was there to try to just be, you know, a double, play devil's advocate type
No,
of thing, or
what I'm
troll.
saying
I think.
what I'm saying though is that can you mute up for me, Mr. Unseen? Just while I'm talking, that way we don't get that echo. what I'm saying is that he might have been having a genuine conversation with you, but if he's one of those Satanists that uses theatrics to make a point, there might be another part of his life where he goes and does that, but he'll have a because most of them that when I have conversations with them, they're very you can one they're very usually very intelligent, they're very well read, and you can just talk to them. But then they'll go out and they'll
Yeah.
put on these like robes and stuff, and they'll go and protest Christmas lights at the on some
Oh,
government
yeah.
building or whatever. So yeah.
Well, I don't know that extent. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
I don't know that. I don't know whether I don't know that.
I, I
But
want to
I'm
I
just
want to make it,
I'm bringing up the
if you
conversation.
guys
I'm
don't
bringing up.
mind. I
I'm.
wanted to
I'm
just try to get it to the point. Whether you call it
yeah.
red pill or blue pill, or you
Yeah.
want to
If I
look
can
at
get
Lord
to
of the
the
Rings
point.
and say it's Gollum's ring or whatever.
Listen. Can I get to my
There's
point?
a you sleep and you get some worldly gain
Li-
and it ruins you in the end,
No.
or
Let me.
you wake
Let
up
me
to
get.
some type of real reality and try to create a new
No.
life.
Let me
That's
get
all it
to.
is.
Let
Please
me
go
get to.
ahead.
Let me get to the point that I'm making. The point, the right exchange in the conversation, the thing he was trying to impress to me, it was like, listen, I don't know if he was trying to convert me at the time, to help to see it from Satan's point of view. But the point was, is similar to the point that there's red pill and blue pill, and that the whole philosophical debate of whether or not because Eve was the one who ate of the fruit first and convinced Adam to eat of the fruit. You follow me? And that's God cursed her to have pain during labor, child labor, and stuff like that. And that's the whole philosophy, or the theological um, belief that's where all that stemmed from. And then we have to go through time, and we were cast out of the Garden of Eden because we ate of the fruit. And the point of that the whole ideology is whether or not does knowledge serve you. I mean, does knowledge certain if knowledge serves you or is beneficial to man or not, or the debate right now with the red pill and blue pill, of with them trying to debate whether or not they get all this data and information about a woman. I see the true women, and or the chivalrous dude who's still living in the Garden of Eden type of ideology. And that's the debate right now. And I just think me, the where I side and where I see it as is a balance of is both. I just believe that men need to be men, not boys. And I just think a lot of these red pill believers are just weak men trying to and not trying to be men. I believe they're not willing to take their role, and they feel like they're being usurped by women,
And that's
and
and and
Wait.
that's
thinking
where
that women
I
are
want to ask
taking their role,
a couple
taking their
questions
role.
right there. To
And
what purpose?
I
Stand up
don't.
to
Hey,
what
hey,
purpose?
guys,
I'm
Well,
almost
no.
done. I'm about to land my
Okay.
plane.
All
Next.
right.
I'm about to land my plane. And I just think, I just think I think they're in a facade. I think they're in this illusion, and it's, they ate of the fruit thinking that they have knowledge, but they just got cast out, and they don't know how to get back into a right frame of thought to be in a harmonious relationship with a woman. I just think they're and if they do get in, find a woman that
When you
checks
say when
all the
you
boxes
when you say
that
a when you
they
say when
want
you
in a woman, I definitely believe that they're going to self-destruct that relationship, because they'll just be waiting for her to make a mistake, and there's no room for growth for her to even make a mistake. And I just think that's, and they'll never find that so-called quote unquote Garden of Eden, or be able to get back into it. That's
And
what I
that
believe.
and
And I'm
that's
done.
and that's where I wanted to come in right there. You want the men to grow up and be men and not boys. To what purpose? What's the
What do you mean?
overall result? What does the man that grows up to be a boy that marries somebody that already has kids? What to what purpose? What does that serve for him? Financially,
What are you
emotionally?
asking me? what you mean a
Does it,
woman
is that
a man,
nation building for what purpose? What do you mean when you say they need to stand up and not be red pill and deal with certain types of women? For what purpose? Where's
oh
that
well,
going to
yeah,
lead that man?
okay, then
Is
you
it going to
gotta
improve his lifestyle? Yes or no?
a better question you should ask me is
No, no, we don't get to interject another question. Please answer my
no,
question
no,
first.
No, because wait, I got
well,
it. Wait, I got
Go
it,
ahead.
guys. I
well,
got
to
it.
get
No, wait, no,
clarification,
wait,
so what's
I
your
got it. Wait,
definition?
no, I got to interject. Sorry, I got to mute both of you. I got to mute both of you.
That's
No, I got to. Oh, no, I got to mute both of you because uh, I think we need to be when we have these conversations, right? And I noticed this. Damn it. Okay, yeah, I noticed this when I
He can't mute us. He can't mute us. He's go ahead and
huh?
say your part. If he ain't
Yeah.
trying to mute us,
Oh
he's trying to get in. No, it's not your time to get in.
no, I
It's not your
noticed.
time to get in. You already talked your part.
No, I
The,
noticed.
the purpose is, and it gets back
Mr.
to the first
Mr. Unseen,
podcast.
Mr.
Let me
Unseen,
finish.
Mr. Unseen,
Can I finish?
Mr. Unseen,
Can I
Mr.
land my
Unseen,
plane
Mr. Unseen,
without you
Mr. Unseen.
interjecting?
You are muted. No one can hear you.
They can hear me through your mic.
No, no one can hear you. I've
Can you
muted.
hear me a video?
No, I've muted both of you. I've muted both of you.
That's not fair. So when you get a sideways point before I can land my plane, you get
No,
to interject. That's
I'm not interjecting anything. I just,
however we gonna get
Mr.
back
Unseen,
to the initial
Mr. Unseen. No one can hear you right now. All I wanted to say, and I'll unmute both of you, is that let's try our best not to rephrase each other's questions. You know what I'm saying? If you want to ask a particular point about a question, like maybe it's a point that you don't understand, but let's try our best not to rephrase other people's questions or to say, well, what you're really saying is, because then if we start,
Did I say that?
I'm not saying you said that. I'm actually thinking saying Mr. Villiers about to do that. But I notice a lot of times when I have conversations with people, a lot of that happens, and a lot of time is spent trying to re-clarify what you said rather than you just taking in what the person says and then responding to it. But I'll unmute both of you so you can continue on.
I would like to.
Hold on, wait. Let me unmute you. I'll tell you when you're unmuted.
what I wanted to get to was in the first podcast, and to keep it general, we have three groups. We have all black people, we have some black people, and we have individuals. And for each group, some people think that we should be a team, some people think we should be in a small group, some people think that we should all stick together here in America. I'm not trying to sway you on which other side we should go, but whenever we say black people need to do something, we have to look at, is that a person that wants to belong to the whole group and a small group, or are they working as an individual? If you say we have to work as all a team, that's a different conversation we have to have. You see what I'm saying?
I, I agree. Yeah,
So
yeah, I
when
agree.
if we want to say somebody's red pill and or they're being a boy, and someone buys their passport and they leave America and makes a better life for themselves, that's a man up decision, depending on if that's a group decision, a small group decision, or an individual decision. If you want to say we had to stand here and be strong and fight for all black people in America, of course it would seem like a childish decision. But if somebody looked at the climate of us here and our ability to unify ourselves, it might be quite an adult decision. It depends on how you look at it. And I'll mute up and let you guys go ahead.
Uh,
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I agree with everything you just said. I mean, it's all about perspective, and yeah, I'm all for um, utilizing the spaces or utilizing the community that you're in currently. And if that, like what's his name said, if you can't change the friends around you, change the friends around you. And I do agree. I do believe in that. But I when you say get a passport and go somewhere to go for a better life, um, depending on what, or are you talking for, if a black guy gets a passport and goes to, Africa and finds a black woman and does it that way, yeah. I mean, I'm all for that. But if you saying for a black man to go get a passport and go to Asia or somewhere, no, I don't. I'm not, I don't. That's not for me.
I lived in Asia 15 years of my life. It's like I went there at like 19. For
Hmm.
me, it's all I know. For me, it's all I know. America's foreign for me to be here. And
Okay.
to be honest, some of the stuff I've seen people deal with in the dating market, and I'm not saying it's bad. Here's a good example I always tell my friend, and I would never let this happen. But when my car broke down, when I was a young person in a foreign country, and my girlfriend was in it, she was willing to get out to try to help push. If that happened to someone here, and let me get to a bigger issue. All
Yeah.
black men are going to have bad luck. Who's going to walk on you when you have your bad instance in your life and you don't have any money and you have to rebuild yourself? You know you might have to do this 3 4 times as a adult black male in America. If you have
Yeah.
a woman that's going to walk on you because you don't have any money, you're so-called broke. What good is that? And I'll let you go ahead and answer.
Well, I mean, everything. I mean, you're saying a lot. I mean, if you're saying that your Asian girlfriend, when your car broke down when you were in Asia, was it willing to walk and push the car with you and everything? That's great. I mean, I'm not saying that. I believe that black women here would do that too. I'm not saying, but that's a different.
Cheesecake Factory.
I'm sorry. Hello.
Cheesecake Factory.
But again, that
Cheesecake Factory. That's all I'm
but
gonna say.
but you again, you keep on. These are two different. I mean, we're talking about you're talking about black women who've been indoctrinated and been in a system where they're not the prize. Where a woman in Asia, she doesn't have to fight for identity or fight for or so for herself to try to be seen versus or be feeling like they're worth anything. I mean, black women here in America. I mean, I'm talking about ADOS, or so
Have
quote
worth to
quote
who?
FBA. They had to fight to be considered a woman and not just a piece
To
of,
who? Black
huh?
men or other groups of men?
Other groups of men, and now they're fighting. They're
Oh,
fighting for the attention of. Let me finish. And they're fighting for the attention of black men right now because to your point,
lies.
a lot of black men have a lot of options. They're like, listen, I don't have to deal with you. I can go to I can go to get a Latino. I can get an Asian. And now these women feeling like they got to fight for the black man's attention.
Can
So
I? Can,
this is all. This is
can I?
from the plantation into current.
Could
I
I?
mean,
No, it wasn't from the. No, it was not from the plantation. It was not from the plantation. This is a
it
recent.
was from
This
the
was
plantation.
no, it was not. This
They've
is a
been
no,
That's the reason why we got a lot.
no.
That's
You're
a
conflating.
lot of.
No, you're
That's the reason
conflating.
we got a little.
You're conflating two different things.
No, I'm not
You
complaining. I'm
are
showing
you
it.
no you are because look, when it came to black men's ability to choose a mate in this country,
No.
it was wait, let
When
me
was
finish
the
let me
dog
finish
test
let me finish
taken?
can I let me
What,
finish what I'm
what year
saying.
was the dog test?
Let me
What year was the dog test? What year was the dog test taken?
Can I please finish what I'm saying? Right?
This is before you and I were
Can
born.
I please
The
finish
dog
what I,
test
can
was
I please
taken.
finish what I'm saying? You and Mr. Unseen had a chance to
Okay,
go
go
on and
ahead. Go
on
ahead.
for a good 30 minutes.
Go ahead. Go
All I
ahead.
want to
I'm
say
sorry.
is I think you're conflating two different things.
No, I'm not.
When it comes to men, black men in this country having options when it comes to mates, that's a fairly recent phenomena that probably came about
It is.
after
It
integration.
is.
So no, it did not start with slavery. In slavery,
No, I'm not.
in
No,
slavery,
you missed
well,
my
let me
point. I'm
finish what I'm
not
saying.
talking
Let me
about
finish what I'm
black
saying. Let me finish what I'm
men's.
saying.
I'm not
Let
talking
me
about
finish what I'm
black
saying. Can I
men's
please finish what I'm saying? You keep
options.
interrupting me. I'll
I'm
try
talking
not to
about
interrupt you
black
guys.
women.
I
I'm
try
talking
not to interrupt.
about them being seen started from slavery.
Okay. Well
I'm not
then
talking
maybe
about black
then
men.
I
I'm
meant
talking about black women. I'm
okay.
not talking about
Okay,
please.
but then the way you related that, you related that to black men having options.
Yes, they
And
now they have options.
what I'm saying is that this system for a long time controlled what mates black men can have. Now it doesn't have the same levels as control. But even still today, a majority of black men up in I think in the 80 percentile range, even black men who make and Mr. the Media Man did the show the stats on this the other day, even black men who make $100,000 or more, still in the 80 percentile range, choose black women. So this idea that
Yeah.
there's just masses and masses and masses and masses of black men going out there and intentionally going to trying to find other women is a lie. And that's not what they should be afraid of. They should be afraid of that, but that's not why they should be afraid of it. But I wanted to
Well,
I wanted to go back to some of your earlier points when you were talking about the red pill space and you were slandering a lot of men there. One, I don't think you know a lot of black men in the red pill space. I think if you did, if you actually went and had conversations with them, you would realize a lot of these men are married. A lot of these men have children. A lot of these men have been through divorces. A lot of these men are good men. A lot of these men in the black manosphere, I think on certain channels, are in the top tier when it comes to earning for black men. I mean, I think it starts like around 80 grand.
you
Let,
have to
let
show
me,
that to me.
no, I don't have to show you anything. It's up to you to go research these things before you make
I'm not sure.
wait before you make slanderous statements about people you don't know who you haven't met. The only point
No, that's
the
I'm,
only look the only point I want to make about the last point I want to make about your points that you made earlier, because you said that a lot of the red pill people focus on the symptoms. To some degree, I think that's true, but I think we have to. I think one of the problems with black people at large, is that we don't have a good sense of timing. We're nearing an end game here. This is no longer about the symptoms. This is no longer about the cause. This is about what is evolving, or one could argue devolving into. And that's what the show is about. It's about educating black men about the very likely trajectory that the black community is headed towards, and that's genocide. Like in our last show, genocide.
yeah.
So this idea that we should not focus on the symptoms, because we know what the cause is and we know what we have to do to fix it, but it's going to take a monumental effort to fix it, not just by black men, but by black women. So only focusing on black men's pathologies and saying that we are the cause also the cause of black women's pathologies is not going to solve the problem. There is no amount of bootstrapping that's going to solve the problems that we have. It just isn't. It just isn't. This idea that all these black men are just going to rise up and be men like how you say they want them to be. One, that usually doesn't happen without some kind of organizing factor. And you're either going to have to pay these people or you're going to have to use some kind of overwhelming force to get them in line. But this idea of this, we're just going to think spiritually and use all these metaphors about the Garden of Eden, and the black men are just going to suddenly do what you want them to do, which in my opinion is really a military assault is what it would take. You know what I'm saying? It's just not going to happen. So we have to be honest about this. We're in the end game here, and we're going to do a show about AI and how it's going to affect the lower tier job markets where a lot of black people find themselves in. We're in the end game here. We don't have time to sit there and talk about where it came from. Anyone who's been paying attention understands where the pathologies came from, right? Even if you're the most ignorant person in the world, they get it. They understand, right? Any person knows why the symptoms are there. It's not about the symptoms. It's about what it's evolving into. And what I see it evolving into is anti-black male misandry. Hardcore anti-black male misandry, to the point where when you look at almost every relevant objective measure, black men are on the bottom. Black men and black boys are on the bottom. So we can sit here and we can bitch and we can complain about, black men need to do this and black men need to do that. Black men need to do that. Look, if the society itself is not supporting that demographic, what do you expect regular black men to do? Because there's plenty of decent, good black men out there. And guess what? They get divorced on, they get cheated on, they get lied to by everyone in this society, including black women, right? And there's no policy, not one policy has come out of the Democratic policy, government or party to alleviate these issues other than some like prison reform. It's like, well, they caused them. Joe Biden caused the motherfucking prison epidemic. So it's not enough to say, hey, yeah, we're going to do a little bit of prison reform when you caused the goddamn problem. And then most black people aren't, most black men aren't even criminals. The vast majority of us aren't criminals. The vast majority of us haven't been in jail. What about the black men who are just decent black men, who want a decent job, who wants the traditional family? But no, we have to contend with a bunch of feminist motherfucking narcissists, a lot of whom are black women. And then when they make decisions based off of their narcissism, they get all these bad results. It's all black men's fault. And then when something like the red pill rises to address the issues that no one wants to fucking talk about with black men, we get called all these names and how we just don't know, we just blame black women for everything, or misogynist or whatever. Where a lot of those men, they're regular men. They're just regular men.
And don't forget the black women who are decent black women that's trying to help, and they get called pick-me's, and they reverse the word mammy, and they get shamed too.
But here's the problem with the so-called decent black women, and because I think a lot of them are in our family, a lot of them have that feminist mindset too. So they might follow traditional values, but they raise their daughters in a different way. They raise their daughters with a feminist mindset.
I was
So that's the problem with so-called decent black
I was
too.
speaking more so of the people like Crimson Cure that's out doing actual.
I don't see this. That's the difference between me and you, Mr. Unseen. I don't give credence to black women in the red pill space.
Okay.
Because they're anomalies. I'm talking about the macro sense. The macro sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad you said macro. All right. Because I feel like we're talking past one another. All right. Because
we aren't. I addressed specific things you said. You brought up symptoms.
No.
And I brought up symptoms. I talked specifically about symptoms and why they don't matter at this point, because we're in an end game. We're in an end game.
No, you're not. Because you have a habit of jumping from the macro to the micro. And I'm trying to follow you, but
give me one example of how I jumped to the micro.
Because you're saying that when you said that black men now have liberties to date whoever they want now, that now, meaning that now that the laws have changed and everything, we have some sort of equality, that we can go and we have passports and we have agency to move about. That's what
which is true, right? I mean, do you disagree with that?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. But
okay, I mean that's the only point I was making. I mean, is that
I agree with you. But my point, the point I'm trying to make to you is that you won't subscribe that same system that was oppressing men at one time don't oppress women, black women. You say you in your mind think is black women did that all to themselves, and you were like, well,
wait, no, see this, wait, no, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Wait, Mr. Vidya, I gotta mute you. I'm sorry, Mr. Vidya, I gotta mute you. I have to mute you. I'm sorry, Mr. Vidya, I gotta mute you. Look, you did it again. You said in your mind, so you're putting thoughts in my mind rather than asking me if I think a certain way. You're putting thoughts in my mind. Just ask me if you think I think a certain thing, and I'll tell you if I think that or not. But I'll unmute you. All right, you're unmuted. You're unmuted.
No,
you're unmuted.
The thing I'm saying is that
no, you're unmuted. He's unmuted. Huh? Yeah, he's unmuted. Go ahead, Mr. V.
Oh, no, I'm just saying that the same system that regulated the movement and the agency of black men, you don't subscribe that to black women.
Why do you say that? Because I never said that. I never said that. I never said that same system didn't apply to black women.
When I said it goes back to slavery, that the women, black women, always had to fight for their, for the spotlight, or to be noticed, or to be, to at least be deemed worthy, up until current day. And now, they have to fight the system, and now they have to fight their own, they doing whatever. They have to dress a half naked or be basically naked to get the attentions of their black men. because black men have agency to be able to see whoever they want or date whoever they want.
Okay,
And you and I,
where are we disagreeing at?
that's why my point.
Because
No, 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 no.
wait. No, I have to look, Mr. Vega. I have to stop you because I'm trying to understand your train of thought here. Because the only reason why I mentioned slavery was to validate your point that men have more options now. That's it. That's all I was saying. That's all I was saying. I'm not
I,
invalidating anything about black women
No,
I'd
I'm
like
just
to see an
saying.
as a
article or
result of
something,
slavery.
some type of data that supports what Mr. Avilia
No,
says.
my
'Cause
my
that's
point.
it. Just sounds like a claim to me. Can you pull up
No,
something on the internet for him
no, no, no,
that
no,
What?
no,
supports what
no,
Mr.
no.
Avilia
And
says? I need to see an
and
No,
this,
article or
let's try.
something.
Let's first try to understand what he's saying because it sounds to me like you're trying to make some
listen,
kind of
my
equivocation
point is
fallacy. You're trying to make some kind of
no,
equivocation fallacy that just because I mentioned something about
no,
black
no, no,
men,
no, no, no.
about black men not
My
having options, that somehow that
no,
was
no.
that somehow that wasn't true, or that's also true for black women.
Listen.
It may
Please
be, but I
listen to what
wasn't
I'm
talking
saying.
about black women. I was talking about
No,
black
listen to what
men.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, the point I'm making is that you have a habit of jumping to the macro and to the micro.
You have to
You
give me an
know,
example. Give me an example where I jumped to the
I just
micro.
I just gave you one. I'll give you another.
No, you didn't. You didn't get. What was the
Macro.
first one? No, give me the first one. Give me the first one again. Cause you didn't
I'll
give
give
it
you another.
because that.
I guess I'll give you another because apparently you didn't get
No,
that
no,
one.
no.
I'll
No.
give you
Give me the
another
first
one.
one. Yeah, I didn't get it. No, I
Hopefully
didn't get
just
it.
to
No, I didn't get the first
clarify.
one. No,
I
I didn't get
missed
the
the
first
first
one.
one. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
give me
give
the
him the
Just
first
first
one.
one.
to clarify
Hey,
No,
because I
give
give
him a
us the
break,
first
what
man.
one.
I
Let him give the first one, man. Let him go ahead and
yeah, wait,
speak. Iron
I'll give you
Fist.
another one. I'll give you
No,
another
no,
one.
we don't
I'll
want
give you
another
another
one. We want the first
The
one.
first one.
Okay. All right. Listen. All right. Yeah, you have a habit of jumping like you go okay, well your side start spouting like data and statistics and stuff
What
like
is
that.
the
First.
first one, man? What is the
Listen,
first one? Here's the rule, man. If you make a claim, give the data.
uh, all right,
True or
listen.
false? Yes or no?
Cause
Scientific method.
wait,
If you make a claim, give the data.
cause it's not.
Please, what is the first one?
Mr. V,
I'm gonna be quiet.
Mr. V, it sounds like we don't disagree on the facts. That was a macro statement. Today,
Okay,
in
all
modern
right.
times, after integration, black men at large, which is a macro statement, have more options. That's not a micro. That's not a subjective or anecdotal statement. That's a matter of fact. Now, this idea of trying to say that I wasn't trying to, I was trying to somehow down women by making that point. I wasn't. I was simply making a statement of fact. Yes,
No, no, no.
black
You
women,
haven't
yes,
no,
black women's,
you
yes, I will
no, no,
acknowledge.
you haven't
No, no, I will
no, listen,
acknowledge. No, wait, to me, so there's no,
I have
so there's
to, of
no
course you do.
wait,
You
wait,
went
so
to
there's,
me this
wait,
way.
so there's no
I have to
misunderstanding,
elaborate. I'm gonna elaborate. No,
Mr.
I'm
Vidius,
gonna
so there's
elaborate.
no
Let me
misunderstanding,
elaborate.
Mr. Vidius, so
I
there's,
said,
wait, Mr. Vidius, so there's no misunderstanding. Look, I agree the same thing about black women. Yes, their mating, uh, um, their mating, options was regulated. I mean, they had whole laws. What were they called? Miscegenation laws.
no,
Yes, their
no,
mating
no.
options were limited by the society through policy and through
Yes,
law.
yes,
So I was not
yes.
negating that. I was not negating that. So
But
why are
listen.
you making that comparison? That's what I'm trying to ask.
No, because you keep on acting like men and okay. I don't know if you. This is frustrating now. I don't understand. I don't understand. You're saying one thing. You're saying stuff, and you probably be thinking something totally different, but you're not communicating what you're thinking, dude. Because
I mean
your
I don't get that.
communication is
Like,
a word.
can you read
Can
my
you align?
thoughts, Mr. Vidia? Can you read my thoughts?
No, I'm not reading your thoughts. I'm
So
only
how can
hearing
you
the
make a
words that you
statement
put
like
out of your
that?
mouth. I don't know about
Why can't you just address
because
the statements
when
that I make rather
when
than
I
trying to
tell you
read my
the way
thoughts?
it's being received, what you're saying to me, and I'm saying, and you keep telling me that's not what I'm thinking. I'm like, dude, that's not what you're communicating. So if you can communicate the thoughts that are in your head more effectively, then I will be understanding your thoughts. But all I'm going off of the words that you're saying that are coming out of your mouth. You're saying that. Listen, all right. My point is this, man. The men, I'm gonna say it from this way. I'm gonna say it differently. Men and women are differently. Okay, right? Do you and I agree that men and women are different, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So when we talk about the same system that oppress men, it's going to oppress women differently. So they're going to react differently. Women don't have the strength and the mobility, that men have. You know, understand? The worst thing you can do to a person is to rape. I'm not, of course, enslave them, but on top of that, to rape them. You know, they rape men, but not to the extent that they rape the black woman. I can't imagine that. And and as a man, I'm pretty sure you can't imagine that as someone physically taking you. So the way they react is going to be different from the way we react. Now now you're trying to superimpose that women should be reacting or behaving like men. You and I are disagreeing.
Well, I
That's
never
the reason
said
why I'm
that.
saying
I
men
never said
are.
that.
I'm
Did I
saying
ever, Mr. Vidya? Did I ever, Mr.
let me
Vidya?
finish. Let me
No,
finish
I
my
can't let
point.
you finish
Let me
because you're
finish
doing
my
it
point.
again. You're doing it
That's the
again.
reason why. That's
I
the
gotta
reason why.
mute you.
No,
I gotta
no, I'm
mute
not
you.
finished.
You're muted. You're muted. I have to mute you because you're doing it again. You're doing another straw man tactic. I mean, I literally told you that men and women are different. I never made any claims that black women should act exactly like black men or that they would react to everything exactly like black men. So please, could you readjust your statements to not put thoughts in my head or put words in my mouth? Please. I'll unmute you. I'll tell you when you're unmuted here. You are now unmuted.
Because they're not
Please
acting like
continue.
men. If you're expecting women to act like men, then you're not acting like a man. You're acting like a boy pretending to be a man. You can't say that. You can't have it both ways. If you keep on saying if you
Mr.
expecting a
Vidya,
woman to react like a fucking man, then you are
Okay,
not a man.
my
Mr.
turn.
Vidya, you're telling that to the wrong person. You need to tell that to black women who are
No,
trying to
that's
act
what
like
you
black
said.
men.
You said
Can,
I'm
Mr.
can,
playing
can
I
with
did
I?
not
you.
say that. I didn't say that.
You're
Mr. Obscene, please. Did I
not being
say?
men.
Did I
Stop
say
calling them
anything?
men.
Did I say that?
I expect the women to
I,
react
I,
Did
like
I say
men.
that?
you did
Yes,
not,
you
and I
I did
are.
never
not say
said
that.
that.
I didn't say these things.
Here's
Yes,
what
you
I heard
are.
as a bystander of this conversation between you and Mr. Iron Fist, Mr. Video. You were talking, and then you took something you said and you injected something you believed into what he said, and you turned it around on me. That's not fair. That's not fair.
What part
If
do you
if
feel
if
like
if
I
you
expected
if you judge
that
him
I
on what
believe?
he says, if you go break him down on what he
No,
says, break him
no.
down on what he actually said. That's the
What he
only
said
thing we're
was what
asking.
he no, because that's when he starts going back and forth to the macro and the micro, and then
Which
he
and you
starts
can't
talking
give one
about
example of when
how
I and
men,
And
you
we
can't give.
asked you to name one
he
example
said
of,
in
and
the
you have not yet. It's
and
been
the
15
system,
minutes.
and then the systems
What's the
are
first
talking now.
example
I'm
of him
like,
doing
no,
that,
that's what
All
he's
right,
Mr.
doing.
Video?
all right. I
And
gotta
So
mute.
I'm pointing
I'm
I
just asking as a bystander, Mr. Video, because I want to know too. Because I'll bust them up for you. But what is the first example of him going from the micro to the macro? I'm writing on my pad right here, number one, so I can help you get him. Number
this is all
one, come on, right now.
when you rewind
Oh
this audio.
man, see, this is the delaying tactic.
No. It's
Name your
hard. It's
first
hard.
point. Where did he go from the micro to the macro? Because people are listening, and this is important. I
Because
need to know when somebody's
when he
telling me,
started
hey,
the
okay,
when he
it's my
started the
turn now. And let
conversation,
me ask you a question. When somebody tells me I can get a job for having a degree, and I say
you
I'm a
talking about
black male,
the
and only
macro now.
5%
You're
of
talking
black
the
males
macro.
can get that
All right,
job,
guys,
I need to
guys,
know
We're
when
guys.
talking
We
it's
about the
can't.
you know.
Look, guys.
are we talking about the personal?
I gotta mute
Are we,
both of
are we
you.
talking
I
about
gotta I gotta mute both of you, and I just want to say this. I gotta say this. Look, if we're gonna have this conversation, we have to figure out some kind of method. Whether we need to do a timer where everyone can express their points without us talking, because with us talking over each other, when I upload this, people aren't going to be able to hear us. So we have to be cognizant of that. So Mr. Unseen hasn't said anything in a while. Let's let him speak, Mr. VU.
I wanted to help us frame before we say anything. We have to say macro and micro, and I'll give two examples. Okay, and then that'll be fair to you and to us. So if I tell you and we're talking about something, I'll say macro, and this is how it's going to affect a group or a small group, and I'll say micro, right? And this is how it's going to affect maybe the individual, right?
Or
If
yeah, I see what you're saying. Or when you're giving a personal account, I got you.
a personal account, right? So macro, if we wanted to say most people in our community, 80% had something going on with them, we won't say men or women, then we would say from an individual's point, you wouldn't want to get involved with those people who had 80% of something going wrong with them. And if you were a group of people, right, the other 20%, right, you'd have to measure their ability to influence that other 80%, right? I hate to break 5% Nation. It has a great example of, you heard their teachings, right? We won't go into that, but they break it up in numbers, right?
Yeah.
The effectiveness, if 80% of people, if we want to choose a sub of black people, choose to act a certain way, and they say, this is how I choose a person: height, income, and how much danger they have around them. Um, we can't go and punish a group of people, of black people, who have nothing to do with that. You can't punish black men under five. You can't I'm sorry. You can't punish black men under 6 feet for what black men over 6 feet do to black women. True or false?
You're asking me? That's a rhetorical
Yes.
question, or are you?
Yes.
You
No, it's
asking?
not a rhetorical question.
No. Oh,
Would you punish black men under 6 feet for what black men over 6 feet do to black women? Who has more responsibility?
when you say under 6 feet, you talking about people who are dead, or I don't
No, no,
understand.
no. Under 6 feet tall, because
Oh,
that's a choosing factor for black
oh.
women. 6 feet or taller has a priority.
Well, they have a more commanding. I'm not 6 foot. I mean, but I still have a presence.
Is that
Who's
is that
more
micro? Wait, wait,
responsible?
wait, wait. Is that what would that be micro?
Huh?
That's micro,
Yeah,
Mr. V.
that's the reason why it's hard to follow because I don't. The questioning. The question is. I mean, I, I can
Because
only go. You
I'll,
can't pass. You can't
I'll make
speak
it
past the.
clearer, right?
Okay.
You have a majority in our women that interact with a subgroup of our men. And when it fails, the group that did not do the deed to the women get blamed on being asked to pick up the responsibility on a second marriage, second child, and so on. Is this
Okay.
fair or not fair?
Okay. Okay. What you're saying is like so general, but I'm still answer it. I'm still going to answer it. N- 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 yes. I mean, no. I mean, it's not fair. I mean, what? What are you asking
Who's,
me? I don't
I'm
understand what
asking
you're
whose
asking.
responsibility is it the men who put the women in this situation's responsibility to get them out of that situation, or is it the men who just had nothing to do with it? They went to college, they had no girls, they played video games. Whose responsibility is it to get black women who's in this situation now, 2 kids not married, out that situation?
Well, okay, that's like asking me if someone who's lost and they can't find the way out of the situation that they're in. Because a lot of people have emotional baggage. A lot of people are in this emotional prison. And sometimes they either they'll go to their pastor, they'll go to their friends, or they'll go to a parent, or they'll go to someone to help them lead them out of that emotional prison that they're in. I mean, if the man is up to the task, and says, "I see where you're at, and I understand, and I'm gonna, I'm still gonna take this chance to try to engage in a relationship with you," that's on the man. I mean, some men are not built for that.
You think the man, if he says yes, he's a good man, but if he says, he's a boy,
No, I don't
when
think
it
he's a
comes to
boy.
a black man and a
No, I
black
don't think
woman,
that. No, when I
what if
call a man
most
a
black
boy,
men say no? Are they all boys?
huh?
What if
What?
80% of black men reject black women in this situation? If you already have a kid from another man, I'm not going to date you. Are they boys?
No, I was the same way. Listen. I was the same way. My
So
my my
Pastor brothers
oldest.
are not boys.
No, my oldest. My
80%.
oldest.
80% of black men say we don't want to date black women if they already have a kid. They go and date a woman from abroad. Are they good or bad black men?
Abroad. What do you mean by abroad? You talking
They
about
make
non-black?
non-black women.
No, I don't agree with that.
Why? Why
I
should
don't.
they date and marry a
I
woman
mean, they
who
can go
already has a
abroad and
kid from
find
another
another
black
black
man?
woman. They can go abroad and find another black woman, but no, I don't
Why
believe.
must they find another woman who has the same hue?
Why? Because I think they share the they could help one another because
How
we're
can they
still
help
under
one
the
another?
same white supremacy
No,
system.
how can they help one another? I already know I'm on the same way, supremacist, whatever. How can they
They
help
can
one
help.
another? What can
They
she do
can
for
help.
him?
What you want me to give you a litany list of what they
No,
can
no,
do
no,
for
no,
you?
no. Financially, how much money can she make him?
I don't know. What does she
Give
do?
me a
How much?
number. Give me a
What
number.
kind of job
Give
does
me
she
a
have?
guess.
Give me these questions that don't make any sense. What kind of job does she have? I
Can
mean, does
can
she have
I
a degree?
can
Does she
I
have a master's? Does
can
she have
I
a PD? She has a PhD.
can I interject
I
for just a
mean, does
second?
she drive? What kind of car does she drive?
Can I interject for
Does
just
she
a
have her own business?
Can I interject for just
I
a
mean,
second? Mr.
yeah,
V,
these
Sure.
questions
Mr.
are
Villa,
crazy.
Mr. Villa, can I? No, they're not crazy, but can I just interject for a second? I just wanted to say
These questions
that
are crazy.
I just wanted to say
Go ahead.
that uh when we talk about black men who leave the country, right?
Okay.
Expatriates or people who travel a lot and who find mates abroad. One, we have to point out that when you
You
look
talking
at
about mail order price? Talking
uh,
about a mail order price, or are you just talking about?
no, I mean just whatever, whatever category, all the categories together. If they find a mate, whether they married to him or whether it's just for sex, right? Um,
Okay.
uh, we have to we have to be clear about what's going on. One, most
Okay.
Americans, most Americans in general don't leave this country. And that's even more true for black Americans, right?
I
And it's
agree.
even more
I agree.
true for black men. Black women actually travel more than black men. The data's out there, the stats show it. They actually travel abroad more than black men. They actually go out and have sex with foreigners, probably more so than black men. I haven't seen the data for that, but
Okay.
there's video of them out there doing it or whatever. Um, so it's a minority of men who are choosing that option. It's usually men who are in the top uh, uh, 10 percent of black male earners. And then, from what I've read, most of these men, when they go to other countries, is usually either to like Central America, the Caribbean, or South America, and 9 times out of 10, they're dealing with uh, what we would call in America black women, because down there they have all kind of different names for black women. If you in America, it's still one drop rule. They're primarily dealing with black women. So this I just wanted to push back a little bit on Mr. Unseen because that's his preference. He is into Asian women, but most black men
That's not true. I'm into women,
what I'm saying is
but they gotta be. If I can't carry her across the threshold when we get married, I'm not fucking with her.
yeah, I hear you. I just wanted to say because you said when you were
Okay.
asking him the questions, you said a non-black woman, but majority of these men still are dealing with black women or blackish women
I
when they
said
go
that
overseas
because
to live
that's
abroad.
his line, and I know it is.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
I just wanted to
I
make,
know that's his line
but I wanted to make it clear for the
because
audience because what happens is,
fair,
but
fair,
what happens is what
fair.
you were talking about before. A minority of black men do something the black community doesn't like or black women doesn't like, and all black men get blamed for it. And
The
it's
reason why
anti wait, and it's anti black male misandry. And I'm sorry, Mr. Vidya, I think you're expressing that very clearly in this dialogue.
and
But
the reason why
I'll let
I
you guys
said
keep
the
going.
reason why I
Yeah,
said it, and I know
yeah.
it's his line,
you were
because
great until you started going to the Mac rap
people are
era.
willing. Everybody that's in the conscious community is saying, look, right? From what I'm seeing, especially from a lot of people, is I hear a dude come along and he's like, yeah, and I have 2 kids that I do not support, and I did not marry the women. I won't say the man's name, but he's prominent and saying you shouldn't date out, but he's not supporting. This is the micro, but he's very popular, and you know him, and you supported
I'll
him
say his
coming here.
name. His name is Dr. Umar. I'll say his goddamn name.
I'm not gonna put anybody's name out there, but they'll prescribe that same shit for you. And then the common black person or man that ends up in this situation, right? When we look out at how it turns out, you end up with a child that's not yours that you thought was yours. You end up paying for somebody else's kids while they're in prison. You end up getting cheated on, right? Possible venereal diseases,
Divorced.
and divorce and alimony with no gain.
Man, now
No
you go.
gain.
No,
Other
man,
than
this
somebody can say some metaphorical dream.
no,
If
man,
you had
no,
to give a
no.
number, you can't give
Everything you
one.
just said, everything no, what you said was not a dream, it was an imagination. Your imagination starts going wild and starts going negative when it comes to black women.
Bring up the divorce stats.
I'll bring it up. Let's bring it up.
Can you bring up stats?
Yeah.
He's gonna bring up some
Yeah.
stats, and you bring up the ones the
Yeah, those are the
contrasted.
macro. Okay, why is it? Okay, let me.
Wait, hold on. Wait.
No,
Let me
I
read
need
the
the
stats.
numbers,
Wait,
man.
let me read. Wait.
I need
Let
the
me
numbers,
read.
man.
Hey,
I don't
guys. I'm
I
calling
don't need
rank.
Jesus.
Guys, I'm calling rank. I'm calling
Wait,
rank.
no,
I'm calling rank.
Jesus,
I'm
why
calling
is it
rank.
that-
I'm calling
have
rank.
no
All
rank.
right, mute it.
I let him.
But he ain't got no rank.
Everyone's muted. I'm gonna before we continue. I want to read the stat. The black divorce rate is the highest among other races, 30.8. The Hispanic divorce rate is the second highest, 18.5. The white divorce rate makes up the almost half of the black divorce rate at 15.1. And other studies have shown that women, I think 70% of the time, and I think it's even higher.
Venereal diseases.
We'll get to that. I think that's not related to divorce, but we'll say this: the studies have showed that women 70% of the time initiate divorces. So this isn't micro, Mr. VU. This is a macro. This is the stats. Now,
It's a Western issue.
it's a Western issue. It's a first world issue in general. But like Kenneth Clark said, the tangle of pathology in the black community worsens everything. In fact, what's happening in the black community is starting to affect other communities. And a lot of that has to do with the advent of feminism and stuff like that. But I will unmute everyone and let you guys.
Oh Lord, you had me muted that whole time.
I did because I wanted to read the information.
Well,
Right.
listen, listen, you can't. Again, I think you start. You doing what I was saying before is that you start going back and forth. You try to find stats to fit your narrative of how black women, are
You like to do your own
deprived,
stats.
are detrimental to the black community. And I say that the blame goes to the black men, not the black women, because
Well,
the men are not being men.
well,
The root cause of the reason the problems of the black community are not the women, it's the men. You don't put the two before the one.
well, let me
If
ask.
you're not leading, then
Mhm.
she's not going to follow,
Well, let me ask.
and I don't blame.
Well, let me ask you this.
So
Let me ask you this.
like I said,
Let me
it
ask.
goes back to
Let
it's
me
as
ask.
simple as that.
Well, let me
No,
ask you.
you don't need no equation. You
Well,
don't need no stat. Let me
well,
finish my thought.
Well, let me ask. Well, let me ask you this. Yeah,
Let
go
me
ahead.
finish my thought.
Yeah, go
Let
ahead.
me
Go ahead.
finish my
Finish.
thought,
Go
and
ahead.
I'll be done.
Go
I'll be
ahead.
done.
Go ahead.
Like I said, man, if she chooses not to follow you, then that's on you. Yes, I understand, because there's a lot of weak men out here pretending to be men. All the bitches I've ever met have always been male.
Mhm.
And like I said, if you start acting like a man, then she'll follow. It's just as simple as that. You don't need no equation. You don't need no stat. It's not that. It's no big. I mean, you don't need anything else to figure that out. It's not that
Please
complicated.
Wait. Let him
explain
finish.
the.
Wait. Let him finish his points.
Oh, okay. I'm done. Yeah, that's all I want to say.
I want you to explain then when we were talking about the last political election when Tiffany Cross told black men they need to get in line behind black women. Should we tell them no? You need to get behind us.
I can't.
I was referring to a video that I saw, right, from Miss Tiffany Cross, right, and she was telling black men that they need to get in line behind black women. I want to know your view on her statement. Should we tell her she needs to get behind us and sit down somewhere?
Well, if she comes across a lot of black men that she felt like they're not leading, and she needs to take the helm and take the steering wheel, then that says a lot. That reflects badly
Specifically
on
to
men.
vote for the Democratic Party.
That reflects badly on the men.
Well, can I ask you
If
this?
a woman,
Can I ask
if
you
she's
this?
a black woman,
I was kind of looking for a yes or no on that.
oh no, I mean, like I said, if she came across a whole bunch of black men who are not able to lead, and she felt like she needs to take the wheel, then that's on. Go more power to her.
And then here's the context that we need to get behind black women and vote for Joe Biden.
No, like I said, man, because she
And I'm
again.
looking for a yes or no on that.
That goes back to that point I'm making. That goes back to the point because she sees him
I
as a
haven't
man.
heard yes or no yet, man.
She sees that white man as a man and sees you as a boy.
So voting for Democrats makes you a man, and voting Republican makes you a boy. Is her context?
Listen,
Is this
again,
true or false? Yes or no?
Again, that reflects on us saying that if she's willing to say, vote and go out and be a spokesperson for this white man and say you need to get behind her, then that speaks that she sees us as less. She doesn't see us as men.
Can I ask you this?
So that's why.
All right, guys. You both had a chance to speak. Can I please interject?
no,
Wait.
no,
See, here's the thing. Wait. Let me ask him something. Let me ask him something.
All right, go ahead.
Ice Cube, right? He's well respected.
Good point.
He's wealthy. He's done a lot of positive things. He saw something when it came to black people's relationship with the Democratic Party. So he made a plan. I forget the name of it. Was it the Platinum Plan?
Black people.
No, that was no, that was I think that was Biden's plan. I can't remember what his plan was called, but and there was a particular conversation that he had with some women. One of them was Vivica Fox. They had a show called The Queens, and he was on the show, and he was basically promoting his plan for Black America. I think that's what it was called, Plan for Black America. And whether one agrees with everything in the plan or not, right? Because I read the plan, and a good bit of it I agree with. Only very little I disagree with it. But one of the things that I particularly liked about it was that it was black focused. He didn't have wording in there called people of color. It was black focused, right? He went on their show, and they gave that man shit. They treated him like a boy. Ice freaking Cube. You know what I'm saying? A very accomplished black man in our community, and they treated him like shit. So the question I'm asking is, in your estimation, can you list out what is it that a black man or a black male has to do to become a fully realized man in this society?
Okay. All right. I want to make sure that you. Is that everything you wanted to share?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done.
Okay. All right. First off, that show that you're speaking of, where Ice Cube was on, that show's off of Fox. Okay, it's a conservative. It's off of Fox network.
It's Fox Soul.
Who owns it? Yeah. So,
but wait. But Fox isn't necessarily a conservative network. There's Fox Cable News that's conservative, but Fox has been around for a long time. I mean, it's a giant company. There's parts of it that are liberal, and there's parts of it that are conservative. In fact, they probably don't even care about it. They care about money, because
no, they care about money, and they appear to be like they're liberal, but they're conservative at the root.
No. I think you're getting confused between the Fox. The larger Fox corporation, right, and Fox Cable News. Fox Cable News is very conservative, but Fox, the corporation, I don't think they go one way or the other. I think it's whatever is going to make them money, and they saw an opportunity there with black people, and they made Fox. Because there's local Fox affiliates that aren't necessarily conservative or liberal. Do you see my point?
No. Yes, I understand your point, and I agree with part of what you're saying. Yeah, the point, yeah, they're about money. That's the reason why they're able, and they want to appeal to black. They want that black attention. They want that black, they want the black eyes, that black gaze on their network. I agree with you. Yeah, that I agree with you on that point. But at their root, they're still conservative.
No, I
Just
disagree with
because,
that. I disagree with that.
okay, well, I mean, you can disagree, but it doesn't change the fact.
Well, it's not a fact. That's your opinion based off of that's your opinion
It
based
is a
off of
fact.
Fox.
I'm not. I'm speaking off. I'm speaking of. I'll send you the information. I mean, just
You're gonna
because
say
I know
I
you
already,
like that.
I already know the information you're gonna send me is gonna be about Fox Cable News Network, and what I'm saying is that
No, it's
Fox is a
going to
much
be
larger
about that.
corporation than that.
Yeah, I'm talking about the umbrella that they're under.
It
It's
isn't.
still a conservative. You're trying to discount it. You're
Okay,
trying to say that it's not.
well,
It is.
explain what do you mean by conservative then?
Conservative meaning that they still have an agenda of what they're striving for. They every have a every company has a business mission. It still doesn't divert from their business mission.
Yeah, but explain what you mean
That's the
by
reason why.
explain what you mean by conservative. Yeah, what do you mean by
Okay,
conservative?
let me make my point. I don't want to go back and forth on that. All right,
Well, I
The
think it's
point
important
being is,
because I think if your point is pinned to this idea that the Fox Corporation is conservative or inherently conservative, when I don't think that you can make that claim. I think that it would. I don't know if it would totally invalidate the point you're about to make, but it's coming from a flawed, erroneous place.
you know who created, you know the guy who created Fox, right?
What's that guy's name? Murdoch something?
Yeah, from Australia.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's always been about money because he started off with newspaper in the UK.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's always been, he loves, socialized stuff, and he knew that that's what feeds the beast.
Mhm.
Stuff like Fox Soul feeds the beast.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, it's still under the playbook, but he's still conservative.
Mhm.
It doesn't change his agenda. That's the reason why.
Rupert Murdoch.
But
Rupert Murdoch.
things that. Yeah, but things like that, because I think he's picking. He finally picked his one son to be able to take over once he passed, because that's the big debate right then. But yeah, it doesn't change. Don't they just Fox News and stuff like that? That's food for father. For I can't even say it right now. But it's just Kindle. It just feeds the beast. It doesn't change what the larger company that steers the ship with what they're doing. I understand what you're thinking, that they're not really conservative because they still have an agenda. That just feeds the beast. That's still having something that shows that, hey, we do mix it up and stuff like that, but that's just facade. That's just veneer.
I know, but there's a couple of fallacies. One, Rupert Murdoch did not found. Rupert Murdoch did not found. He did not create Fox. I think he was able to buy some of his subsidiaries or whatever, and he became I'm reading it right now. Fox Corporation, which owns Fox News, right, was founded like in 1915. You see my point? Is that if you're gonna go down this line of logic and to make a point, because you're not really answering my question. You're not really answering my question. That's the first thing. You kind of. I'm reading it. I'm literally reading it right now. Literally reading it right now. Fox Corporation was founded in 1915. Let's see. Company name traces back through a series of mergers and demergers to the Fox Film Corporation, founded by William Fox on February 1st, 1915. The only point I'm trying to make is that if you're going to pin this on conservatism, that's the wrong road to go down, because I'm asking you a very specific question, and the question was I asked you a specific question. You're going off into the weeds. I asked you a specific question. I'm going to restate. Wait. I'm going to restate the question. I'm going to restate the question. I'm going to restate the question so that it's clear to the audience and it's clear to you. What does a black man
Corporation
Mr.
is
Vidia,
liberal or not?
Mr. Vidia,
Do you
what?
think that? Do you think Fox Corporation is conservative or not?
I think Fox News Corporation is conservative, but Fox
No, I'm
Corporation
saying the
itself.
corporation. I'm asking corporation. I didn't
No,
say news.
I don't think they're
That's
I
why
don't think they're one or the other. I think they're going to do whatever it's going to do to make them money. Now,
you're not
one would argue
Fox
that
Corporation.
that could be a conservative thing, but liberals do the same thing. So the point I
You
want
believe the Fox Corporation is not a conservative company?
I think it can be.
Corporation.
I think it can be conservative. Whatever serves their
No, I'm
interest at
not
the
asking
time
it
to
can
make
be. I'm
money.
asking whether or not you believe that it is or not.
No, I don't think inherently that it's conservative. No, I don't.
Okay,
No.
okay. You're wrong right there.
But
But I mean,
that's fine.
I hear you.
That's fine. But I'm going to
Yeah.
restate my question. What
Okay.
does a black man have to do in this society or a black male have to do in this society today? I want you to list them to be a fully realized black man. And the context was Ice Cube. So if you want to reference Ice Cube, that's okay. But that was the context.
Well, no. I mean, I was just going to. The reason why I brought the Fox Corporation is because that's the reason why the women went in on it. Is because of that. And to go back to what to your point about the whole feminist, yeah, that I agree with you on that. On that point with Ice Cube. But to answer your question, what does a man have to do? It's very simple for a man. Man,
Black
it just
men.
means
Black men. Black men.
Black men. I mean,
Yeah.
black men, or just a man in period. Like you can color it whatever you want to color it, but a man period is a person who controls his environment. Simple as that.
Controls environment.
It's
That's the first one, right?
Yeah, you control your environment. You control, you control your family. You have control of your mental faculties. You have control of have discipline in whatever vocation that you do, and has control of did I say immediate family?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to repeat myself. All
I
right,
have
and
a question after that too.
and then you have control of your you have control of your I can't think of the word right now. God damn, forgive me. My train went in a tunnel.
Well, I'll list out the first ones. Maybe this will jog your memory. First, you said controls. Wait. I just want to reiterate what you said. You said controls environment, and I put also controls mental faculties because I think those are two different things. So I put them as 1 and 2. Do you have any more?
And you got family?
Well, I think controlling your family is part of environment, right?
Yeah. Just having dominion. It's simple as that, man.
Okay, so that's it. That's what black men have to do to become fully realized men in this society.
Right.
So do you think that white men have this level of control?
Yes, they do.
So why is it that we see that white men are having the same issues, maybe not to the same extent, but the same issues when it comes to family court, divorce, alimony, child support and stuff like that? I mean, there's a whole white manosphere sector where they complain.
No, because they allow it. They say, don't confuse license for for freedom.
That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking why is it that
that's what you're asking. You're asking why the white men having the same issues that the so-called black men are having.
Mm-hmm.
It's because they're giving license to their women.
Okay.
Because like I said, let me go further. The reason why women are able to do what they're doing is because the men are allowing them to be able to do what they're doing. Okay. The men are controlling the military. The men are controlling the politics. The men are controlling the laws of the land.
So women don't vote. Women are legislators.
If they decided saying, "Hey, we don't want to do this no more," they're gonna do it.
So do you think that black men should be in the business of getting rid of family court?
We shouldn't even be in family court.
From a political standpoint, do you think that black men should be fighting to either?
It's getting about my time.
Either to fully get rid of family court system, or to greatly rebalance it so that men have more power in that system?
I mean, I don't think they should be able to be in family court. I wish we had some type of
Well, it's not really the question I'm asking. I'm asking, do you think black men should fight for those particular issues?
fight for what?
For either either getting rid of the family court system, or greatly adjusting it so that men have more power in that system.
I wish we can do away with it, but yeah, I agree that they would fight for some equality. I mean, if there is imbalance in it, inequality.
Some of the main people at the forefront of fighting for that are men in the manosphere, white and black manosphere. But you slander them every chance you get. I mean, they're literally doing what you're saying to try to control their environment. To try to control their environment, they're fighting to change the laws.
No. I think most of the guys in the manosphere, I don't call them men.
Doesn't.
I call them guys. You call them men.
Name a name.
Most of those guys in the manosphere are basically.
Name one name. Who does?
What? I don't
give us an example who you're talking about. Since you said most, that means you can give us one example.
No, well, let me finish my thought. I think that most of the guys that are in the manosphere, or the I don't know why they call themselves man, but they
like who? So I can go and critique his video.
They don't believe. I don't think they don't. They think of women and men are the same, and they're not. That's the reason why I said that. I go back to the point.
You truly have not
echoing their points.
You truly have not listened.
I'm echoing their points right now.
Yeah, they do
the same stuff you're saying. They say.
Yeah,
no, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
That tells me you haven't really listened to a lot of black manosphere.
Then name the one who doesn't, so I can go and look at his video.
No, they don't. Most of them are saying.
Give me one. Just one. That's all. Look it up now, man. It's the internet age, man. Google, man, and share the link so we can look it up.
I don't know them by name, but all the ones I'm just going off of the stuff.
Google a random one and put it in and check it first and give it to us, man. We'll check it out.
Yeah, because most black men in the black manosphere, I mean, that's what the red pill and blue pill is about. It's to say that. It's to say. Look, all I'm going to say is that you've made a lot of generalizations about the black manosphere that I don't think is very well researched. I think that one of the main things that black men talk about when they talk about women, because black manosphere talks about all kinds of stuff. It's not just about women. They talk about politics, geopolitics particularly. But on a surface level, what's promoted the most in the larger media is, okay, they're always bitching about women. But one of the main things they do say when they talk about women is that, look, they're different. They're going to react to things differently when you're in a relationship with them. And if you give them a certain amount of leeway and power, just like any other human being, they're going to be corrupted by that power. And I think that's what we're seeing here in the Western world, particularly in the United States. Women, through the advent of second wave, third wave, and fourth wave feminism, has been given the same agency and rights that have traditionally been given to men, right?
And I still didn't get to ask my point of what he actually got a chance to ask, what he meant about black men, and that's our responsibility. Just a couple seconds, please.
Okay.
If you could give me, Mr. Nvidia, some yes or no questions. If it's black men's control, do we control the hiring process that they give us these jobs in this country and how much money we make? Yes or no?
Yes.
We control the jobs we get in America.
What do you
black
mean?
men. When we apply for jobs over the internet, black men control which jobs we get and how much money they pay us.
Yes, you control what job you want to choose. You can choose to work a job, or you can choose to start your own business. It's up to you.
Do we control whether they give us that job or not?
What do you mean? Control to get the job? I mean, except if you strive.
Who has the jobs? Black people or another group of people?
This is what I'm talking about. You can't keep on saying that white supremacy don't matter.
No. Yeah, I just asked a question.
We never said that. That's a straw man. We never said that. We never said that. We
You
never
just
said that.
interjected something. Who
We never
has
said that.
jobs? If all
No,
black
no.
people applied to
You keep
black-owned
on.
businesses, would we all have jobs? That's the easier question for you. Yes or no? If all black people applied to all black-owned businesses today and quit their jobs from any other group, would we all be able to have a job? Yes or no?
Well, I hate to answer your question with a question. So if all
No,
black men
no, that
had
is
jobs,
not. That,
would they be the thing? Would they be?
that is the number one
All
rule
black
of
women
trying to skate out of a
who
debate, man.
had
Is to
good
answer a
jobs,
question, ask a question with a question, man. That
Hold
means
on,
you
guys, we're talking over each
that
other.
means you refuse to
Guys,
answer the answer because
we're
you know
talking over
better.
the question. We're
Or
talking
would
over
they
the
be still
question.
good?
I
Avidia,
can't get one question
Avidia,
answered.
can you give him a good? Can you give him a direct
Had
answer?
black men good paying jobs. Would they still be?
Can you
Would
give
they
me a
still
direct
be?
answer, yes or no?
So would they still be
I
in the
need yes or
situation?
no answer, man. Come on, man.
Would
I'm
they be
slow.
better?
I'm slow, man. I need yes or no answers.
I just answered it. I just
No.
answered the question.
No, you tap dance for the last 15 seconds, man. Do
No.
we control
All right, well,
is if we all wanted to get a job, who do you work for? You work for black people or another group of people currently?
I
When you
agree.
look at what pays 80% of your income right now, is it coming from black people or another group? Yes or no? What makes food go into your kid's mouth?
Okay, it's yeah.
And we can say macro or micro. Your choice.
I agree. But my point being,
That's
from the
number
beginning,
one. My next question is, do we control the police? Yes or no?
That's the point I've been making from the beginning of this conversation. Because you, instead of
If we
blaming
don't
who's
control these things, then how it is our
you
responsibility?
don't blame the black women. You blame the people. You believe white supremacy on the condition of the black men. You don't blame the black women for the condition of the black men.
And how am I responsible? If white supremacy is the cause,
Hey, guys, one at a time. Guys, one at a time. One at a time.
But they're not blaming the cause with the rightful the people who are causing it, which is white supremacy, instead of blaming the black woman. That's the point I've been saying from the beginning of this conversation. They keep blaming the black woman for the reason why they can't get along, and the reason the reading and all this other stuff. They're blaming the black woman instead of blaming the people who are not giving them facility to be able to control their environment. And that shouldn't. And the point, not even given. It should be demanded and taken what is rightfully theirs as men. But you keep on blaming a woman.
Can I ask
Why are you blaming a woman?
Can I ask
that's
you,
a cop-out. That's
Mr. Vidia? Mr. Vidia, can I?
That's called displaced aggression.
Mr.
That's called
Vidia.
displaced aggression.
Mr. Vidia.
That's when a parent takes
Vidia.
it's like when a parent beats a
Mr.
child.
Vidia, we get it. Mr. Vidia, you be going on for a few minutes now. Let somebody else speak, please. Please respect the space. Mr. Vidia, we get it. We get your point. Mr. Vidia, we get your point. All right, I gotta mute you. I gotta mute you. All right, look, I'm gonna say this, right? I'm gonna ask you this question, Mr. Vidia. Because you want to say white supremacy, and I agree. I think white supremacy is the larger issue. It is the overwhelming macro issue, right? They're the ones who set up the conditions in this country and why we have certain realities today. Now, I'm going to ask you this question. What if the white supremacy exists within the very minds of the black people who you say that we have to fight for? What if the white supremacy in their minds actually causes harm, external harm, to people that's supposed to be in their care? What are we supposed to do about that? I'll unmute you. I'll tell you when you're unmuted. You are now unmuted. Please.
Repeat the question.
I said, what if the white supremacy is in the minds of the black people who you say we should be bootstrapping for? What if they lay next to you every night? What if they are in charge of your kids' education, their rearing, their discipline? How are we supposed to fight that? That's the question.
but it shouldn't be. I mean, if you're a man of some sort of discernment, then you should be able to just make sure that the person who's laying next to you does not have that kind of saying that on the same idea, share the same values system and the same ideology that you share.
Good. That's a good point.
The problem is,
That's a good point.
The problem is, a lot of these dudes just let me finish the question. The problem is that most of these dudes stick their thing in anything with a, like what BBD said, a big butt and a smile.
Can you prove that?
And that's
can you prove that most black men do that?
Because, no, you can prove it because you got the stats.
I do have the stats. No, I do have the stats. I do have the stats.
You saying that most of these women are
Mr. Vidya.
Most of these women are baby mamas more so than the dude.
They are.
And all this.
They are. And most Mr. Vidya, the stats. Mr. Vidya.
These are not from immaculate conception.
Mr. Vidya.
It's about these guys thinking that they don't have enough discernment.
Mr. Vidya.
They don't have enough discernment, and they don't have enough discipline
to
control their sexual power.
Mr. Vidya.
So
Mr. Vidya. Mr. Vidya, you're doing what we say black people in the black community do to black men all the time. You're taking a small subset. You're taking a small subset of black men who are passing. Let me finish what I'm saying. Can I please finish what I'm saying? Can I please finish what I'm saying? Can I please finish what I'm saying? Mr. Vidya, can I please finish what I'm saying? You're taking a small subset of black men.
Large.
No, a small subset of black men who are problematic, and you're applying it to every black man. The reality is, the stats show most black men are not married, and most black men have no children. In fact, black women are the only female demographic in the country that has more children than their men. That is not black men at large's fault. That is not our fault. It isn't our fault.
It is.
But Mr. Vidya, is every black man's fault? Is every black man's fault that the black women who have children have multiple? Then when you say it's black man's fault, that's basically what you're saying, right? That it's every black man's fault. Right?
Okay, I'll go down that road.
It's your fault too, Mr. Vidya. It's your fault too. If she had a child outside the race, Mr. Vidya, it's your fault too, right?
It is, because we're not constructing and building institutions to control our environment.
How are we going to
wait. How are we going to do that? How should we build these institutions? Please give us a rundown.
And why didn't you build it already, Mr.
No. No, I want to ask. It's a serious question, because I think this gets at to the root of whether or not we're a real collective or not. How? Please tell me how black men are supposed to control this environment over here, and how we're supposed to have these institutions.
I think Mr. Vidya has guaranteed me and you a job by next year, because he's older than we are and he is a black male.
Come on, guys.
Mr. Vidya will build us an institution by next year. Come on.
Stop it.
If you live in South Carolina and you're a black male, Mr. Vidya has you a job by next year. Come on out, y'all. Come on. Tell us about Mr. Vidya. I'm going to let you tell yourself.
You trying to dox me? You trying to get my information out there to the...
What?
Well, you said it's your responsibility. You a black male. Aren't you supposed to give me a job? I'm younger than you are.
I mean, he wasn't trying to dox you. He didn't give you your personal.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just a joke. It's just a joke.
Oh, okay. All right.
But that's what you're insinuating to other black males other than yourself, that we have that type of responsibility. Well, let's start with yourself. If we're in South Carolina and we want to get a job, we should be able to come to you and get a good job. Right?
Listen,
yes or no?
Well, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. First and foremost, I believe in the micro, and then you grow. That's the whole theory of ideology. You start local and then go, global. I believe in that. First, I look at the individual. Forgive me if I speak to you this way. All right. But I believe that men, if I'm going to take information from you, if I'm trying, no, I'm not going to cut you to pieces. I'm just saying, for me to for me to take information from you, I have to see what your ideology, your thought process, at least put into action or into fruition. Not all the time, but it has to be sound or make some sense. Most of the guys in the so-called manosphere, I don't know why they call them. They just need to call themselves guy-spheres and stuff like that because they're not men. They need to stop. I don't see them putting the stuff what they espouse into practice.
Can you give an example? Can you give an example of that?
I need the example too.
Can you give an example? We would like an example because it's real general.
Well, let me finish. I mean, god dang, dude.
Well, we want an example because it's a slanderous. It's a slanderous statement, and we would like an example. Because from what I've seen, the black before you continue, what I've seen in the black manosphere, I've seen a lot of networking among black men. I've seen a lot of political cohesiveness among black men. I've seen black men do what they say they're going to do. If they say, "Hey, I'm going to leave this place and I'm going to go to Zambia or Brazil,"
Biden is done as far as we're concerned.
Yeah,
as far as him getting elected.
Yeah, they out of here. I see them creating businesses. They created a whole black security firm in Baltimore. Officer Charles.
Need to change the name.
Officer Charles.
There's at least a couple schools for black boys now.
Yeah, so this idea that they're not doing anything, I think is you're speaking from ignorance. You say most when I don't even think you've even listened to most black manosphere content. So how can you say those? How can you make those claims?
You can't name one person.
This is your ideology because
person, man.
Because some black men. Hold on, wait. Some black men in the black manosphere advocate for dating out. And it's not even most of them. It's some of them who do that, and that burns your butt. So now you have to make all these slanderous statements because some of them are like, hey, look, if you're having issues with black women, date out.
Because it's sad because the talent usually falls on that side. That's the part we don't talk about. Talent usually falls on that side. If it doesn't have anything to do with the ball, if it's some talent involved, that type.
All I'm saying is most of the things that you've said that black men should do, you see happening in the black manosphere, and yet you still call them boys or males, which I'm sorry, I think it's kind of disrespectful to those guys. Just because you disagree with them, right, doesn't automatically make them boys or males. Just because they don't share your what's it called, your what's the place, Wakandan dream, doesn't mean that they're boys or males. They just given up on what we call the black community. They don't see it progressing in any way that's been going to be beneficial to them or their families. And that's not all. And that's not all black men. That's probably even a subset of black men in the black manosphere. Most black men in the black manosphere still deal with black women.
Yeah. Exactly. And not a lot of people are built for this. Not a lot of people are built for it. A lot of people want to watch the racism. A lot of people want to watch racism from the skybox. I got you.
Can
let me throw some stupid shit out there. It'd be funny, but you'll get what I'm saying. Right? It ain't sexy if you're a black man and you're an engineer. It ain't sexy if you're a black man and you can work your computer. It ain't sexy if you're a black man and you can fucking read. It ain't sexy if you're a black man and you can fucking do math. It ain't sexy if you're a black man if you know what to do with your fucking money. And I'll stop right fucking there. If you have those qualities and those are your priorities, fucking in our fucking community, those fucking men that's young like that, when they come out at 18, 19, those fucking dudes have a hard fucking time. And it doesn't mean they have those other qualities. You can fucking do whatever with your martial fucking discipline. We won't go into that on these type of podcasts or whatever.
They don't have discipline. That's the point I'm making. They don't have any discipline. These guys in the woman haters club, they don't have discipline.
You don't even know these guys. You don't even know these guys.
Usually those qualities of black men I name, usually those men go into the military.
No, they're not. They're not built for this.
Can
They're
I?
not.
Oh,
They're not.
built for
They're
what?
not built. They're not built
Begging
for
for
black women.
jobs?
They want
Built,
to docile.
built
They
for
want. They
what?
want to docile
Begging for
shit.
jobs and
They
begging
want to pet.
for
They don't
people
want
to
to mate.
vote one
They want
place.
to
I
pet.
have not built
Most
for
of these
wow.
dudes,
All right, guys, we're
most
talking
of
over
I'm
these
each other.
dudes
sorry.
right here,
I'm sorry. You got to
the
explain
top
built for
they
what? Because
don't
I
want
don't
to
see
mate. They
anything right
want to
Mr.
here.
pet.
Unseen,
They don't want
let
to
him
pet. They
respond.
don't want to mate. So they don't want to pet. They want to pet. They don't want to mate, and that's the problem. Most of these guys are not built for it.
Mr.
They're
V,
not.
Mr. V and Mr. Unseen, wait, I want to point something to you guys' attention. I have it up. I'm sharing the screen if you still see it. But I wanted to go back to the black business aspect of things, because we hear a lot of this from the black community. Black men just need to start businesses. Black men just need to do this. Black men just need to do that. And my contention is, okay, if black men need to do all these things, where's the support? Where's the support? Because most of the things that come out, most of the things that come out for black business, they usually directed to black women. You know what I'm saying? Now, no, wait, Mr. V, I just want to read this out. I just want to read this out real quick. I want to read this out real quick. When it comes to black business job creation, right? This is broken down by race. Now it says white-owned employers. Now, and when they mean by employers is meaning the real business doesn't start until you actually have employees, because that's when you're really making real money. Not because most black businesses only have one employee, and that's the owner. The vast majority of black businesses are that way, so they're not real businesses. But I'll continue. White owned employers, they create 56.8 million jobs, right? They could employ 39%, nearly 40% of white working adults. Asians, right, who number way less than us in this country, create 4.7 million jobs and can employ almost as much as whites could of their particular demographic. They could employ about 38% of their demographic. Hispanics, they create 2.9 million jobs. They could only employ about 8% of their demographic, and which means if they had an employee, they could pay their employee about $11,000 a year. Asians could pay their employees about $65,000 a year, and whites can pay their employees about $80,000 a year, or about almost $90,000 a year. For blacks, we only create 1.2 million jobs. We could only if we could only employ about maybe 5% of our population. Our annual revenue is only $127.9 billion. And that goes to show you all this idea of if all black people just pool their money together, which is an impossibility, that we could do things. It just doesn't work that way. And we could only pay a black employee about $4,000 a year. So look, I agree with your points about black men controlling their environment. I absolutely agree with that. My problem with blue pill brothers like yourself is when we start talking about what it's going to take so that black men could do that, we get all this stuff about how we're not men, about how we're males, about how we're blaming black women. But here's the reality. Here's the reality. I want you to take this I want you to really listen to this, Mr. Vidya. As it stands, black men do not control the black family. There are outside forces who are in control of that family, and they have put black women at the head. Until we change that, until we change the rules that makes it so that black men get primary custody of the children, this will not change. Now, you can say I'm blaming black women all you want. At the end of the day, I'm talking about a macro issue. I'm talking about actual policy, actual laws, that the only people that I hear talking about this are people in the black manosphere. We have to change the laws. Shout out to Dr. T. Hassan and his black male political agenda. Because if you're serious about black men controlling their environment, you would get on with that agenda. You would get on with that agenda, because he doesn't in the agenda, he doesn't say anything about black women. It's all about black men. It's all about policy that will give us better outcomes so that we can start controlling our environment more. And that's all I'll say. I'll let you respond.
Oh, me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, Oh yeah. Listen, listen. I hear what you're saying, but I just don't think it applies to the point I've been making. And I
I
don't
mean,
think it applies.
you literally brought up controlling your environment, and
Yeah,
I'm addressing that point. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's
But the
directly
stats
related to what you're
don't.
saying.
But the stats don't. I mean, the stats don't apply to any of this. I mean, let me put it this way. Okay, when when Harriet Tubman was freeing the slaves, right? You do know that the reason why she carried the gun is not because well, if they encountered any slave patrollers, but more so the black people who so they don't change their mind because she would kill them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If they said, what, because she was like, because a lot of them change their mind. They get scared, they get spooked out, and they say, I want to go back. And she says, no, if you come in, you got to go all the way through, or I'm gonna shoot you because you become a liability. You follow me?
What if black men were to say that? What if a black man was in a similar position, right? And we don't talk about those men, and we said that about black women. What if we say, hey, if you don't follow all the way through, we're gonna kill you right here on the spot? How would you feel about that?
Follow you. Well, let me do you one better. All right. The point being is this. My point being is this. All right. The reason why I bring that up is because of that. At the time of that, at the time of when they were around, everything you can show all the stats in the world saying that you are not going to get free. This is an impossible task. What's the point of even leaving?
You're moving the goalpost.
But they believe. This goes back to I know, I know that you're atheist, but they believe on things that are unseen. I believe that we could do better than what you show me. I do believe that. You can call me a fool, but I believe that black people are the most powerful people on this planet, and they can control the environment if they choose to. It's whatever you believe. It was like when let me finish my point. It was like when I texted you earlier. When I text you, only believes in death will die. That's a quote from Saul Williams. If you believe in God, you believe in God. If you believe in death, you're gonna die. Whatever you believe is what you're gonna do. And the reason why I bring that up is say, dude, the stats don't mean nothing. It goes back to the individual. That's the reason why when you talk to me and you ask me, what about it? Dude, in my environment, I control my circumference.
If your wife divorced you tomorrow, what are you gonna do?
And that's what I'm saying. You don't control your circumference.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
We together.
What are you going to do?
We already fell together because you could control it. I control it.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
What if the Earth gets struck by a meteor?
It's a simple question, man.
What if aliens come down and it says, what if the rapture happens?
Mr. Vidya, it's a simple question.
I'm dealing.
Mr. Vidya,
I can't deal with what
Mr. Vidya, it's a simple question.
What ifs. I gotta deal with what is.
Mr. Vidya,
all I can do is what you're talking about.
You know what you're gonna do? You're gonna vote Democrat. That's what you're gonna do. That's the only thing you're gonna do is vote Democrat.
This is why you're talking about the stats. This is what I'm
vote for
talking
Democratic president when the election comes. That's the only thing you're gonna do.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
All I can deal with is what is. I can't deal with what ifs. I can't. All I can deal with what is and what I can control. You can show me all the numbers in the world. They don't mean nothing.
Can you control?
If I can't control, listen.
Can you control?
Got to control your dude. If I'm talking to a man, then you can control your circumference.
Right.
I ain't got time to be over there trying to, talk parakeet with people.
If
you align,
understood.
Your circumference then.
Understood.
How far is your circumference? Let us know. The average black man.
And they can't help it.
Mr. Vidya.
Be bitching.
Mr. Vidya.
Like I said, I don't have time to be talking parakeet with parakeets.
Mr. Vidya.
Are you talking to a lion? If you're talking to a lion, you got to speak like a lion.
Mr. Vidya.
Like I said, if you want to be a man, then speak like a man.
Mr. Vidya.
I don't have time to be talking about all the, how my feelings and how I heard and how the black.
Mr. Vidya.
You're not going to convince a man Put the two before the one.
Mr.
If you're
Vidya.
a man, then you lead it.
Mr.
If you
Vidya.
can't
Wait,
lead it,
Mr. Yassine. Wait, Mr. Yassine. Wait, Mr. Yassine.
and leave the fucking country.
Mr.
I
Vidya.
don't got time for it. I don't got time for weak
Mr.
niggas. I
Avidia.
don't.
Mr.
I don't
Vidya.
have time for weak
We
niggas.
understand.
I don't.
We understand. Mr. Vidya.
I don't.
Mr. Unseen had a
I
question.
don't have time for weak niggas.
We get it. We understand. Mr. Vidya, Mr. Unseen had a question. Go ahead, Mr. Unseen.
What's your
It
question?
was about circumference.
I mean, how much of your circumference do you, when you say you control your circumference, how much do you control?
Are you asking him personally? Or are you asking in general?
You asking me
What-
personally? Oh, okay. But
Macro and micro. How much of your circumference do you control? How many people can you get jobs?
listen, what I'm trying to do is, what I'm trying to do is
When AI
you know,
hits
this
6 months from now, and we
Well,
all
past
lose our
election,
jobs.
this past election, which really hurt my heart, and it goes back, proves your point that a lot of black people are not ready. They're not, because we gave them all the literature that they need. We met with them, and then we were trying to, hey, we need you to donate to our, our campaign. We were trying to control the budget and try to get these people to have more money. To try to create more black millionaires, to create more black. You understand? We try to do that, but the majority of them decided to go. A lot of our black people
Don't throw stones at a glass house.
What?
Don't throw stones at a glass house. We can't get a man talk to any other black man because we're all in the same situation. That's my greater point. We don't control how much money. We don't print money here. We work for other groups of people to get money into our community.
No.
100%. No black man prints a dollar. They work for the dollar for another set of people. Who?
Mr. Vidya, let him finish.
You can't fight that, man. It's a truth. It's not a false thing. We work on money and we work for other groups of people to get dollars that another group prints and gives to us for labor.
You're thinking too small then.
Look, unless you want to work for rubles, or you want to work for yen, or you want to work for another foreign country.
Mr. Vidya, he's not. Hold on, Mr. Unseen. Mr. Unseen, I just want to say something in your favor. He's not thinking too small. He's simply speaking of the reality that we exist in right now.
And I have not finished.
I know he is. I know he is.
If you want to talk about something that we separate and we print our own money, that is also an option.
He can't see bigger. He can't see further than a can.
That as well. If you want to talk about nationhood, that is also an option. But voting Democrat does not get you nationhood. Voting Democrat, supporting local.
Guys, we can't talk over each other.
Man, I can't finish because I'm addressing every point you made. Every political move that you suggest we do. And it's going to be the key to our next podcast is within a range that another group has given to you. You must vote to get you one. Oh, get on the podcast and say what you want. Be loud and get in people's faces and try to make them uncomfortable to get what you want. We've been doing that since, slavery. So that's what you call being man. If being a man has been dictated to you by another group of
Mr.
people,
Yassine, now you're doing to him what he was doing to us. You're putting words in his mouth. That's not what he said. He didn't say that you have to go vote and do all this to become a man. He didn't say that. He simply said men have to control their environment. That's all he said.
Okay.
The only reason why
I don't see anything that we see in black men in here in this community. Mm-hmm. What we call a man in our community is not controlling any environment. They usually end up in prison. And it's not of any revolutionary sense.
And that's not true. Most black men do not end up in prison. We got to stop that. I'm
saying most black men, and to the point of this podcast, that women consider men.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
They end up in prison for doing some dumbass fucking shit. and there's no way
Yeah,
you
in
can
fact, if you
debate
look
that
at the
on
if you
that.
look at the percentage of black men in prison who have children, I think compared to the percentage of black men outside of prison who have children, I think there are more black men in prison who have children than there are black men who outside. Not raw numbers wise, but percentage wise. I think so. I think I looked
And
that up.
then when you
Yeah.
poll the young women, what do they prefer? We can pull all that data. Scammer, drug dealer, and what was the other
It's
one?
usually some kind of like entertainer, rapper, or something like that, or
Something like that.
yeah, it's very rarely someone doctor, engineer, someone who's
Engineer,
trying to
doctor, lawyer, those things off the menu for a young black male that's going to hear this since 19. Hold strong in your struggle and go ahead and get your law degree or whatever, man. But understand, the young ladies are going to hate you now inside your own group, and that's the point of this podcast. I'll let dude say whatever he wants to say, but then whoever listens to this podcast, look at what the young ladies that your color are saying to you around you, and look at how they're reacting to you. Are they trying to hook up? Or they trying to hook up with some dude that has it already, but he's selling crack and cocaine or whatever to his own people? Go ahead and say what you want, Mr. Vidya.
Oh, okay. Well, what I'm saying, I think, everything you said, I think you're thinking too small. I think that most of the, if you come across a girl who is not, a girl, and I stress that, a girl, if you come across a girl who is, who's not listening to you and wants something, or, they want an instant made, they don't want to make it from scratch or build anything,
Yeah,
then
build
you
it,
need to
yeah.
stay away. As a man, you have to have enough discipline and enough wherewithal to be able to discern the difference between a girl and a woman.
Well, they are.
And
They are. They're doing that. Most, like I said, most black men aren't married.
I hope so.
Most,
I hope so.
most
I
black,
hope so.
most. Wait.
I'm not talking about
Most black men aren't married.
I'm not talking
Hold on.
about the ones who's trying to date others.
I know,
I'm talking about the ones who are trying to date black women.
I agree, but what I'm
And-
saying is most black men want to date black women in the 80 percentile range, and that might change with Gen Z and Gen Alpha. We don't know yet. But I'll also say that that I think one of the issues that we have when we have these conversations is something that you brought up earlier, Mr. Vidya, and that is attacking symptoms, right? And I think there's a really good reason as to why that happens is because the symptoms create deleterious results for people who have the symptoms. So what's that old adage? Abused people become abusers. And the only point I'm trying to make, because this is about black women in the context of the blue pill, is that if a black man does not line up with the things that she likes when she's younger, right? And he has to grind and try to make a way for himself, he avoids all the traps. And he gets to a point in his life where he's accomplished, where he has some things to provide for a young woman. I think we need to stop saying that man is less of a man if he does not want a woman who has made bad decisions early in her life. We got to stop doing that, because I think what's happened is, because my father's generation, the boomer generation, a lot of Gen X men, by the way, a lot of those men became stepfathers, and they hardly ever get any credit for it. There's no statues erected in their honor. They aren't praised. What you hear among popular culture when it comes to black women about black men is that we ain't shit, that we don't do nothing, that
Martin
we
Luther King.
Yeah, all the way to Martin Luther King. They're bashing him now. So that's my only point, is that, look, leave these men alone. They've escaped these traps. They've already doing what you're saying. They're not messing with these women. The numbers show it. And that's gonna be my last question to you before we wrap this up, Mr. V. And I want an honest answer. What percentage of black women do you think have adopted a feminist ideology?
Then you have to you gotta have to define feminist. I mean, because it's different degrees of feminism.
Second wave and third wave feminism.
Second and third wave feminism.
Yeah. You want me to pull them up so we can read what it's about? Second.
Yeah, please.
Second. Second wave feminism definition. Now we're going to go off of some rudimentary definitions here. The second wave was largely defined and led by educated middle-class white women who built the movement primarily. Or that's not really a definition. Let's see here. Let's see. After the ratification of the 19th Amendment in 1920, which granted women the right to vote, the first wave of feminism slowed down significantly. Although many of these activities continue to fight for women's rights, the next sustained feminist movement is believed to have started in the 1960s. Much like the first wave that developed during a period of social reform, the second wave also took place amidst other social and political movements. That's the predecessor. Let's get to the second one here. Let's see. Damn, they're going through. Just give me the. Here we go. Women's liberation movement. Let me see if I can find a quick, easy definition. Let's see. Let's go to Wikipedia. Wikipedia might have a synopsis. Here you go. Is a period of feminist activity that began in the early 1960s and lasted roughly 2 decades before ushering in the third wave of feminism. Beginning in the early 1990s, it took place. Come on, man. You're going to go right into the third wave? Just give me the second wave definition. Let's see here. Missing from typical narrative told about second wave feminism is the experiences of black and other women. God damn, just give me the definition. Let's see. Oh, God. They're quoting Kimberly Crenshaw. Oh, my God. Let's see. Let's see, here we go. Second wave feminism broadened the debate to include a wider range of issues: sexuality, family, domesticity, the workplace, reproductive rights, de facto inequalities, and official legal inequalities. It was a movement that was focused on critiquing patriarchal or male-dominated institutions and cultural practices throughout society. Second wave feminism also drew attention to the issues of domestic violence and marital rape, created rape crisis centers and women's shelters, and brought about changes in custody laws and divorce law. Feminists-owned bookstores, credit unions, and restaurants were among the key meeting places and economic engines of the movement. So that's the second wave. And then the third wave here is it began in the 1990s, prominent in decades prior to the fourth wave, grounded in the civil rights advances of the second wave. Gen X, third wave feminists, born in the blah, blah, blah. The third wave saw the emergence of new feminist currents and theories such as intersectionality, sex positivity, vegetarian ecofeminism, transfeminism, and postmodern feminism. According to feminist scholar Elizabeth Evans, the confusion surrounding what constitutes third wave feminism in some respects is its defining feature. The third wave is traced to the emergence of the riot girl feminist punk subculture in Olympia, Washington. Blah 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 blah. I'm trying to get more to the It says that Walker sought to establish that third wave feminism was not just a reaction, but a movement itself, because the feminist cause had more work ahead. The term intersectionality to describe, and this is intersectionality is a term that it wasn't created by a black woman, but it was very popularized by a black woman. And it really defines black politics today, which is an utter and complete failure, but that's a different story. Describe the idea that women experience layers of oppression caused, for example, by gender, race, and class. And this right here in particular, I have issues with. In fact, Dr. Tom McCurry pretty much debunks this notion of intersectional experiences in this way. Had been introduced by Kimberly Crenshaw, and she's been proven that she's a liar, in 1989. And it was during the third wave that the concept flourished. As feminists came online in the 1990s and early 2000s and reached a global audience with blogs and e-zines, they broadened their goals, focusing on abolishing gender role stereotypes. Here we go with all the transgender and bullshit, and expanding feminism to include women with diverse racial and cultural identities. So really, third wave feminism is where you see black feminism kind of flourish, and why we have what we call today the black gynocracy or black girl magic. But the question is, what percentage of black women today do you think have a feminist mindset, whether they call themselves a feminist or not? But do you think have a feminist mindset? It's particularly rated to the two waves that I just read about, because there's a fourth wave and there's even a fifth wave, but we won't go into those.
Well, I'm not familiar with these different waves. well, I mean, I was exposed to the intersexual um, um, from a meeting I attended, um, which was crazy. But I but I would say that they're a minority. I would say 20%. Yeah, maybe
The last
but they're growing.
and you're wrong. The last study I read said that I think it was like 60% of black women, I think, kind of like outwardly, express feminist ideals. And I got to find the study. It's been a while since I read it.
Oh, you're talking about like the first wave
No,
that
no,
I'm
no, no, no.
familiar
I'm
with.
talking no. I'm talking about second and third wave. First wave, that was like in the early 1900s. And believe it or not, a lot of black women weren't getting on board. There were a lot of black women who weren't necessarily on board with second wave, but that changed over the course of the 70s and 80s. But no, I think it's more than half. I think kind of outwardly express feminist ideals. And then I read another study. This was for all women, not necessarily just black women, but they said that when it comes to women, when you ask them directly, "Are you a feminist?" I think only about half of them will say, "Yes, this is all women." But then when you ask the questions in a different way that doesn't necessarily, say this is, but it's feminist ideology. It was like it was like 80% of women in this nation, express some, even the conservative ones, express some notion of feminist ideology. In fact, I think that study that I read that said that 60% of black women was actually higher than white women. So no, it's not 20%. It's not a minority. And I think this is the problem that I have with Blue Pill Brothers is that you guys are Blue Pill. You're living in the Matrix. If you're out here operating, Mr. Vidya, in a way that you think that only 20% of black women adhere to feminist ideology, you're delusional. You're delusional. It's just not true. It's just not true. And this is where I think data and stats are valuable. We have to understand the environment in which we live.
And I wanted to interject, and I wrote it down on my notepad. For just about everything we want to talk about, we can ask the question: is that 80% or 20% that you're referring to? If you want to say like black men have problems, that's true, man. Is that 80% of black men that are selling some type of drug deal and doing a whole bunch of stuff and going to jail in and out? Or is that 20%? What do you think is more likely? If you do the research, probably going to show it's probably closer to 20 than 80.
And
if you say
that's a good point you make, because I think a lot of times, Mr. Vidya, what Blue Pill Brothers will do, they'll play the equivocation game. They'll say, okay, look, yeah, black women, they have a problem with this, but black men, they also have a problem with this. But then when you start comparing the percentages, it's like, okay, yeah, there is a contingency of black men that have this issue over here, but it's a minority. But then when you start talking about black women on certain things, it's like, okay, look, I'm bringing up this problem because it affects a majority of them, like the obesity rates. That affects a majority of black women. Now, we could talk about the causes and all that stuff like that. That's the point, is that it's an issue. And every time someone brings it up and it's like, okay, here's what black women probably need to do. You're a misogynist. You're a misogynist. You're trying to police black women's bodies. Well, if I'm the goddamn fucking man and I have control over my environment, I should have a goddamn say on whether your fat ass need to lose some goddamn weight. That's how it should be. But no, Blue Pill Brothers like yourself and the liberal ones, I don't think you're particularly liberal, but they'll make all kind of little excuses to say, oh, white supremacy and the slave, you got to understand all this. No one gives that leeway to black men when we have our pathologies. No one says that. It's black men ain't shit. You just ain't being a man. Even if it's a minority of the men in the community that is doing it. I'll say this, that the media leads with. And they do it to black women too. I'm not denying that. I don't think every black woman out there is like, what's her name, Sexy Red, or whatever the hell her name is, or Nicki Minaj, or any of them hip hop heifers out there now that we have. I don't think most black women are like that.
Especially if it's a black man with a serious mental illness that's out of his facilities, whatever. He can't do whatever. We don't give him that break.
Yeah, we don't. We and this is the problem I have, and this is why I call it anti-black male misandry. And it's born out of chivalry. I get it. The only point, the point I'm trying to make though, is that world does not exist anymore. We live in a completely different world, and that's what we were trying to express to young men and black boys. If you try to live in this society, right, in a traditional way, and you're clouded by delusions, you're going to get railroaded. And the numbers show it. That's why I think a lot of young black men who are Gen Z and Gen Alpha are kind of like, oh, I don't even know if I want to get married. Because it doesn't. Because the institution doesn't benefit us anymore.
Mm-hmm. You're the friend we know that made it work, man. You're the friend we know that made it work.
You're the only friend, maybe two. No, you are only two in one of my friends that I know that made it work. Only two. Now that's the micro. That's micro. That's our anecdotal experience.
But we talking like 15 people.
But it's backed up.
15 to 20.
But it's backed up by the data. And that's the difference that I think that we're doing here. Is I'm not saying that the data is the be all. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that black people have a problem with relying too much on hope and faith. We don't say, hey, look, where are we and where are we trying to go? Because and this is where Mr. Unseen excels. If we're trying to go here, if we're trying to go to Black Wakanda, then there are things we need to change in the black community, specifically related to black women, not just black men. I'm not saying black men don't have to change, but there's some things about black women that have to change. We either have to be the impetus behind that change, or black women are going to have to do a lot of self-work. And I'll shut up and let you guys kind of whatever. We're going to try and end this.
And I was going to say, and that change is going to have to come across, and most likely, whatever's going on now, the women are not going to like it. And we're going to have to deal with that. And I'll let you go ahead, Mr. Video.
Yeah, we'll give you the last word.
All I can say is I hear you. I hear you. I don't agree, but I hear you though. I definitely hear you though. I just think I
challenge you to bring some examples, some evidence, and some statistics to support this point. We're gonna talk y'all again.
Listen, I am the example of what you speak of. I mean, I don't know how else to do it. I live
with the macro.
I want to bring you paper. I
bring us 20 people. Show us 25. Show us a community that's making it work.
I just think that I just think most of these guys are adopting a bad philosophy, and it's not because it's not going to pan out. It's a bad philosophy or ideology to adopt. I don't think it's going to serve them well, and it's not. That's all I could say about it. It's just like if you're trying to sell me on everything I've from the videos you've sent me and the stuff that the stuff that I've come across on my own, I'm like,
what do you think we're trying to sell you on? What do you think we're trying to sell you on?
No, I'm just thinking their idea of women, that's not a real woman. It's crazy. They put too much onus on a woman that doesn't exist. I mean, no, I take that back. That some do exist, but to try to paint that as the majority, that's a fallacy.
Look, I'm telling you right now, 60%,
they're not taking accountability.
60% of black women adopt a feminist ideology. Well, you keep saying you keep
Let me finish my thought. No, I'm not.
You are.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. And most of these, and most of them are not taking accountability or not factoring themselves in the equation, as if that the men don't have a huge influence on what what women think, black women in particular. And when I say, when I messaged you earlier, whether or not I'm saying, when does it start? I mean, when do what factors does the black men have on the black women, and when and where does it start? Does it start when they're a young when they're a young baby, a young black baby girl who comes into the world? Does a black man have any influence on that girl, or do they not? Do you feel that the black women have more influence? Are they still the get? I mean, it's so many different factors, and I think y'all go to the worst case scenario and try to paint that on all black women, on the majority of black women, and that's not the case.
But we
Because
aren't.
That's why we said.
Wait, wait.
That's why we said that they use the 80-20 rule.
on this planet, on my fifth, I mean, I've come across some women that you describe, but the mass majority of the women I've come across do not think, do not act, are not the way that you keep on describing. And I've been in a lot more places
Let's
than you
look at a
have.
couple of points, and we're going to use the 80-20 rule, okay? And we'll just say most or least, right? Single parent, black males, most or least black males are single parents.
Yeah,
Most or least black males have kids at all.
most black. What's the question? Are you making a statement or are you asking a question?
I'm asking, do most black men have kids?
Do most black men have kids?
Yes or no?
I mean, yeah, the ones I know.
No, in the macro, not the people you know. Most black men have kids, yes or no?
Dude, you can't speak past someone's experience. You can't.
We're not.
No,
He's asking you a
can
macro
look at the
question.
statistics. It's the macro. You can look at the numbers.
So,
Documented evidence. Do most black men have kids, yes or no? The answer is no.
so most women,
So the
most black
single
women,
parent epidemic belongs to who? Do most black women have kids? The answer is yes. If the single parent problem belongs to one demographic, you cannot blame the people who do not have kids for the people who are struggling with their children.
dude, what you're saying is stupid. I'm not calling you stupid. I'm just saying what you're saying is stupid. I mean, what you're saying. So, how did that kid get into that woman?
God, you're still on the.
Not by the person who does not have children, which are most black men.
Dude, no, I'm not asking you a simple question. How did that kid get it? Was it by immaculate conception?
No, it was by a small percentile of black men who have
Like I
children.
said, well, there's more black women than black men.
So when we
There's
say
more black women than black men.
need to step up and be
There are
fathers,
more black women than there are black men.
That makes his
There are
point even.
more black women.
Mr. Vidya, that makes his
There's more
point.
black women than there are black men.
Mr. Vidya,
So we know there's going to be more there's going to be more black women with kids than men.
but there's more white.
got that.
Wait. There's more white women than there are white men. Yet white men have more children than white women.
why is it the
And
reverse?
every other demographic is that way.
Watch them say slavery and white supremacy. Go ahead.
Because you, like you said earlier, that most black people do not travel as far. White men had
No. I'm
ability
saying in the
have
country.
income to travel.
I'm saying in
and
the
they have
country.
more means to
No.
have more kids.
I'm saying
than
in the country.
listen to what I'm saying.
No, because
Listen to what I'm saying,
because you're
basing
taking
it off of-
no, because you're taking
No,
It's South Carolina. If you want to put it at the end, South Carolina and South Carolina only, you're going to see the same thing.
Because white men have more resources and more ability to travel and to be able to sleep with more
No,
women.
let's look
Mr.
at only
Vidya.
white men within
Wait.
South Carolina. You will
Wait.
find the same thing, man.
Mr. Vidya, most white men don't travel out of this country. Most Americans stay in this country.
I said
The point I'm trying to make is
they have the
in
ability to travel.
the point I'm trying to make is in the white community. In the white community,
Again, you keep
white
on trying to
men,
base it.
white men.
Until
Can I please finish what I'm saying? Can I
and
please
show
finish
me
what I'm saying?
women, show me black women who are having immaculate conception, and keep on saying that. Then you're foul. What you're saying
Let me
don't
ask
make
you
no
this.
sense.
It's because the 20%.
Wait, Mr. Unseen. Mr. Unseen, let him finish.
They are not getting pregnant by themselves. They are not getting pregnant by themselves.
Okay, we
I
got
don't
the
understand
point.
why you're
Get pregnant by the majority of black men if they don't have no kids.
I don't understand why you keep on excluding the black
Mr.
men.
Unseen,
Stop
Mr.
doing that.
Unseen, we're not excluding black
Yes,
men.
you are.
No, that's
Yes,
a straw
you are.
man.
You putting the onus-
Mr.
You put the
Unseen.
onus on the black woman.
Mr. Unseen.
Like she's the one
Can we
who's
please-
predatory.
can we please respond to your point?
You
Mr.
Only
Unseen.
excluding black men who do not
Mr.
have children.
Unseen.
You are implying that
Is that
black women
fair?
are
All right.
predatory.
Do I have to mute
That
both of you
they're
again.
they're seeking to get pregnant by these
Mr.
dudes.
Unseen.
And I'm saying that the
Mr.
dudes are the
Unseen.
predators.
Can I have one?
Mr. Unseen. Wait. Mr. Unseen. You're doing it again. You're creating a straw man fallacy. We never said that black men, just absolutely no black men, have any responsibility in knocking up black women indiscriminately. We never said that. The only point that Mr. Unseen was trying to show was that it's a minority of men who were doing that. But all black men, but men like you blame all black men. And what
Yes, I do.
wait, and what we're saying,
I'm not
wait,
blaming the black men who impregnate
Mr.
the
Video,
majority of black women
Mr.
that
Video,
think of.
Mr. Video, please wait. Let me finish my point. What we're
I'm
saying,
blaming the black men who
Mr.
the
Video,
majority of
Mr. Avidia, what we're saying is this: you're stuck in the matrix. The rules have the rules have. Let me finish what I'm saying. The rules have changed. Women today have agency. They do.
Okay.
They do. Whether you think they should have it or not doesn't negate the fact that they do have it. No one, no black man, I shouldn't say no one, the vast majority, the 99.9999% of black men aren't forcing black women to have sex and have children. They aren't doing it.
Saying,
almost every single black child, almost 99.9999% black child that is born is almost the direct choice of a black woman, born or not born, whether she chooses to have an abortion, whether she chooses to have it. Black men have very little say in that. Very little say.
Listen.
So you cannot put the onus on. Let me finish what I'm saying. Let me finish what I'm saying. Let me finish what I'm saying. Can I look, Mr. Vidia? Mr. Vidia, Mr. Vidia, we're trying our best not to interrupt you. Mr. Vidia, please respect. I gotta mute you. I gotta mute you. I gotta mute you. I gotta mute you because I'm not finished. I'm not finished. Let me finish my point, and I'll let you go off, man. All I want to say is you cannot put the overbearing onus on black men for something that's almost totally within the agency and control of black women. We don't make them choose the men that they choose. To the extent that we will, if we start becoming more of a patriarchal society, if we started making the black community a patriarchal society, right, and black men started putting down their feet, and we started doing shotgun marriages again, we started forcing them to get married to certain people, we started having arranged marriages, the backlash will be hard and swift in this country, and you know it. You know it. You know it. So if black men do not have that control, if we do not have the control over whether or not these women are going to bring a life into this world, then the majority of that onus is on them. It's on them. And you definitely can't put it on all black men because most black men ain't got no kids. I'll let you respond. You are now currently unmuted.
Okay, dude. All right. First off, I'm not putting the onus. Well, I'm partially putting the onus on dudes who are within that circumference. Okay, of those. First, let me ask you this question: the guys who impregnate these women, do you consider them men?
I do not. Not the ones ones who go from woman to woman to woman to woman to woman. No, I do not consider that.
Good.
No.
So you and I we're in agreement on that.
Yeah,
okay.
Not at all. Me too.
Okay, I agree. So we're all in agreement with that. My question. To answer you, I'm not going to ask you a question yet. But my answer to what you're saying is that listen, you cannot grow a tree if you don't plant the seed, first and foremost. And like I said, most of these dudes, I understand you keep on saying they're a minority and stuff like that, but that goes back to my original point. These I would say bitch made niggas who impregnate these women are in fault. It's their fault. It's their fault. You cannot blame the woman for her circumstances because most of these dudes are predators. I can't blame the sheep for what a wolf does.
Yeah,
These guys are wolves.
Where we agree.
no, I actually disagree
Yeah.
with him on this. I actually disagree with him on this because
No.
no,
20% of those men that do that shit, and those women,
Nah.
those women, that's
No,
stupid for
that's-
going over there,
that's
and
chivalry.
it's stupid for the men for doing it.
No, I agree with that. I think it's stupid for the men to do it, but that's chivalrous talk right there. That's making
No, it's not
that's
about
making
chivalrous
that's
talk.
making that's making
No.
most of these men predators, and that's
No.
fucking bullshit.
No,
Most of these men are not
no,
predators.
no,
Most
no,
of these
it's not
men.
chivalrous talk.
Can I please finish
No,
what I'm
no,
saying?
it's not
Can I
chivalrous
please
talk. Stop,
finish what I'm saying?
stop,
Can I please finish what I'm
stop,
saying? I'll finish what I'm saying. I'll let you
Stop.
respond. But let me finish what I'm
You're not
saying.
making sense.
See, I see
No,
your
can I
point.
please finish what I'm saying?
I see
Can
your
I
point.
please finish what I'm saying? I'll let you
You're not
respond.
making sense
I do not disagree with you on that because I don't think even most of those men are predators. They may be irresponsible.
They are predators.
Let me finish what I'm saying.
They are
Let me finish what I'm saying. Let me finish what I'm saying. They may be irresponsible, but most of them are not predators. In fact, I would argue that
So you implying that the women are the
can I
predators?
please finish what
You're
I'm saying?
implying the women are the predators?
No, I'm not. If you
Are
let me-
you implying?
No, I am not. If you will let me finish what I'm saying. I am not implying that the women are predators. What I was going to say was that these men are irresponsible, but in fact, the women are also being irresponsible. And that's the
right.
larger point
I
I'm
agree.
trying to make. This isn't
agree.
the black community is not a patriarchal society. You may think that. You may run your household like that. But at large, the black community is not patriarchal. It's not. It's not.
Listen,
these
okay.
men, if these men existed under a patriarchy, we'd already have it under control. We'd already have it under control. Wait, I'm not finished. I'm not finished. Wait, Mr. Vidya, I am not finished. Mr. Vidya,
We just agreed that they're not men.
Mr.
So
Vidya,
stop
I
calling
am
them
not.
men.
Well, you know what I mean by that. I'm just saying in general. I'm calling them so there's no confusion or whatever. I'm talking about that particular
No,
subset of.
those are the dudes who are running the
Look,
room.
I don't want to get into the weeds on that. All I'm saying, you know what I mean by when I say that. So I don't want to get caught up in that.
No.
Look, Mr. Vidya, I don't want to get caught up in that. Let me just finish my
No.
point, Mr. Vidya. Let me finish
Okay.
my point. The point
Okay, I'm gonna
I'm
let you
trying.
finish your point, and I gotta speak. All right.
I will. I'm gonna
All
let
right,
you
go
speak,
ahead.
but you gotta let me finish my point.
Okay.
The larger point,
okay.
the larger point that I'm making is that, and then I think this is the point that I think you don't want to address, is that women, black women, women in general in the Western world have agency. They have power. This isn't like it was in the 40s. It's just not that way anymore. They're making choices. They're making decisions. And it's not all black men's fault for their bad decisions. It just isn't.
No.
If you're going to put that, if you're going to put that onus on me, right? Every time I see a black woman out there making that type of decision, I should have the right to slap her the fuck out of her face. I should have that fucking right. I should be able to beat her. I should be able to beat her. No, I should, because that's what, look, if you want to talk about power, and I'm not saying that I'm for that. I'm just saying, if you wanted to get control of the situation, we'd have to get real hard, not just on the men, but on the women too. The men we would circumcise and the women we would beat. That's what would have to happen to change that behavior. A total environment change.
Can I say something?
I'm done. Yeah, go ahead, man. Do your thing.
Okay, all right. The reason why I keep saying it is the men's fault. It's because, you keep saying that it's only 20. It's a minority. It's a minority, 20% of black men who are doing that. But you got to understand marketing. That's what we sell. You got to understand. Just because a black woman fall victim for the marketing, because those are the only women. That's the only men that they promote. Those are the only men that they put on the radio. The type of men that they put on television.
Who puts them on there? Who does it?
The 20% that are showing that they have many women. Let me finish my point.
No, I can't let you finish your point because I think this is ridiculous, man. Because in one voice you'll say, "Oh, white supremacy," and this is why black women have all these issues or whatever. But do you want to say it's 20% of black men who are doing that marketing? Get the fuck out of here, dude. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit.
Listen, I don't know if you've seen the movie Birth of a Nation, when they had black men raping white women and, or a threat of white, we weren't doing that. But to the white man's eyes, we were a threat. we were raping white women all around. That's the reason why even Dylan Ruth, when he was interrogated by the FBI, he was saying the reason why he did what he did in Emmanuel 9 is he said to protect the white woman.
So that's
Like
black
I
men's
said,
fault too. So that's black.
like I
Is
said,
that
but
black
he
men's
fell
fault too?
victim to the marketing.
Is
He
that
fell
black?
victim to the marketing.
Is that black
Don't
men's
fall
fault
victim
too?
to the marketing. Just because black women fall victim to the marketing, thinking that that's the best way to go, I don't blame her. I blame the marketing. Like I said,
And I said, who's doing the marketing? Who's doing the marketing?
We are black men.
Mr. Vidya, who's doing the marketing?
As black men, have to
Mr. Vidya,
decide
who is
and
doing the
say that
marketing?
we don't want to be portrayed like that in the public eye. We're the ones who have to show a counter narrative to say that, hey, we are different than that. I'm not talking about this so-called guy sphere that this He-Man Women Haters Club that you're created. That is
We didn't create it.
blaming the wrong person. You're not speaking to the root of the problem. You're speaking to the cause of the problem. The solutions y'all coming up with are no solutions. None of them don't have women, and those who don't have, they barely have a woman. They don't have a woman. They don't have a mate. They have a pet.
What are you talking about?
Like this, all right.
What solution?
Like what they're saying is
Mr. Vidya,
but they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Vidya,
I'm living my,
Mr. Vidya, what solution?
Like I said, the people that are around
Mr.
me are living what I'm not just talking the talk. I'm proving the part.
Mr. Vidya, what solution?
And like I said,
what solution, Mr. Vidya?
Making no damn sense.
Mr. Vidya, what solution? Mr. Vidya. Mr. Vidya.
Lastly, I want to end like this. I'm going to end like this with this question to you. Do you feel that your strategy or my strategy is a better solution to the problems that are plaguing the black woman and the black community?
I haven't heard of strategy.
I'm saying the whole thing. When I told you about how black men should act, I'm not talking about these guys sitting here complaining about how black women ain't this and they make me feel this way and they're playing and they're all this fucking parakeet talk. It's because that shit doesn't work. Because if it working, then these guys would have women. They don't.
I think it's hilarious that you make these general statements about people who you don't. That general statements about people who you don't. Mr. Vidya, you went on for a little bit there. Mr. Vidya, Mr. Vidya, I gotta mute you. I gotta mute you. Go ahead, Mr. Unseen. Mr. Unseen, go ahead. Mr. Unseen, go ahead. Okay, if you got anything, I'm gonna let Mr. Vidya continue. Go ahead, Mr. Vidya.
Talking theory. They talk theory. I'm talking about something that I can actually practice. They're not practicing shit that I can learn from. That's the reason why I call them boys. I can't learn something from a boy. I'm trying to talk to men. And these guys that you keep on telling me about, or these videos you keep sending me, are not talking bullshit. It's just bullshit. Because you can't apply that. I'm gonna sit here and talk to a woman on a date and start pulling out fucking stats about how you would need to do this and that. I'm like, nigga, no woman gonna sit through that.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's saying they should do that. They
don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. It doesn't work.
Mr. Vidya, no one's saying that. Mr. Vidya, no one is saying that.
Don't fall victim for the He-Man Woman Haters Club.
Mr. Vidya, no one is saying that.
They don't have no solutions.
Mr. Vidya, no one is.
They just point to the problem.
Mr.
But they don't have no solution.
Mr. Vidya, no one is saying that.
They just point to the problem. I ain't got time to talk to people who just point to problems.
Mr. Vidya, no one is saying that if you go on a date with a woman, start reading out all these stats. No one is saying that. That's an exaggeration. But there's a couple of things that you said that I think are very problematic. The first one is that you make a lot of slanderous claims about people who you don't know. A good majority, I don't know about a majority, but a good bit of black men in the black manosphere are either in relationships, married, or have been married. And just because your particular situation has worked out doesn't mean that's going to be what's going to happen for the rest of black men. So it might be true that you can't learn anything from it because your situation is working out.
So you saying
wait. Can I please finish what I'm saying?
Okay. I asked you a question. You haven't answered it yet.
I'm trying to finish my point here. Who
has a better solution?
Well, you, like Mr. Unseen says, you haven't really given a strategy or solution, and that's why when we asked you,
They haven't given a strategy.
If you know you
They
have
haven't.
that's
All
no, you haven't.
All they do is point to problems. They
No,
haven't even. I'm just.
they
saying.
have given strategies. I can name one. I can name one strategy. I can name one strategy right now that they've given. I can name one. It's called
What have they given you?
It's called SYSBM. Save your motherfucking self, black man, because no one's coming for you. Save yourself. It falls right in line with the list that I asked you to give me. You gave me two things. It falls right in line with control your environment. It falls right in line with control, Mr. Vidya, 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 Mr. Vidya. It falls, Mr. Vidya. It falls right into.
I mean, it's going to say, save my own ass. I mean, if that's the problem, then you don't want to be there. Why would I go on a plane that crashes 80% of the time? That's what you're giving me. You're saying only 20% of the women are good, and 80% are bad.
I agree.
You and I are going on a plane trip, and then you say, "Well, Travis, we're going to take this flight, but 80% is an 80% chance that this plane is going to fall."
That's true. Look, it's true. That's true. That's a true statement.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's
the
true.
point I'm making. That's
true.
the point I'm making. They don't have no fucking solution. All they do is point to the problem and scare niggas away from, scare dudes from women.
Why
that's
would
all
they?
it does.
They're not scared away
that's
from.
All
They're
it
not.
does.
Mr. Vidya. Mr. Vidya. They're not scaring men away from. Mr. Vidya. They're not scaring men. Mr. Vidya. They're not.
The only solution they give you is to run away from women.
Mr. Vidya. They are not saying that. They're not saying run away from women. They're saying, you know what they are saying? Do you know what they're saying?
You gotta listen.
Mr. Vidya,
if someone's giving you
Mr. Vidya,
good,
Mr. Vidya, can I clarify what they're saying? Mr. Vidya,
please don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Mr. Vidya, Mr. Vidya,
ideology does not work in real life.
Mr. Vidya, can I? Mr. Vidya,
that's the matrix.
All right, I gotta mute you.
That is the matrix.
I gotta mute you. I gotta mute you, Mr. Vidya. They are not saying to run away from women. Let me clarify what the Black Manosphere is saying. The Black Manosphere is saying, hey, look, black women have a set of pathologies that has its roots on the plantation that is adverse to black men and boys. If you're going to continue dealing with these women, you have to understand these pathologies and navigate around them. If not, don't fuck with them. Find other women. So they have never advocated for just not dealing with women at all. That is an untrue statement.
And I want to give an example. If you have a child that's going to go to a public school and it has one of these types of black women in there, and you have a male child, she might see him as mentally disabled.
Exactly.
But he won't sit down and run around. He wants to run around the classroom when most boys are like that.
And there's data that shows this.
Proven.
Yeah. There's data that shows this. It actually shows that not just white women, but black women do the same thing when it comes to black boys. There's data that shows this. So we're not saying this isn't some fantasy for us. This isn't some we just want to hate on women parade. This is, hey, look, we're taking data and statistics that shows that these women have a certain pathology, that they think a certain way at large. And yes, I think only about 20% of black women are worth a damn and actually worth fighting with and for. A good 80% of them, I think, have adopted the white women's feminist ideology. And it's created a lot of issues when it comes to black relationships. They don't want traditional roles. They don't. It doesn't matter how hardcore you are. It doesn't matter how rich you are, because rich black men are having the same goddamn issue. All the way up the class line, they're having the same issue. From Will Smith to who else? There's some other people recently in the media that were having issues with black women that have all the that Mr. Vidya has said. They covered all the things that you say black men should have, and they still are having issues. So that means this isn't something that's on black men. This is self-work that black women have to do that we can't do for them.
Or it's a conversation we can't have over the internet. Who? I mean, all they want motherfuckers to do is get a job and make $6 figures, man. And we don't determine what jobs we get.
I can't hear you.
Look, Mr.
I can't hear
Video.
you.
Yeah, you're muted. You're muted, Mr. Unseen. You got
Mr. Nvidia, if it's been proven that you
I can
can
hear you.
only get the money for 1 degree down from the college degree you already have as a black male, which means if you have a doctorate, you can only be paid as a master's, and if you have a master's, you can only be paid for having a bachelor's, and so on down. But the average white male college dropout can make more than an African American male with the college degree. We don't control that statistics. And there's
Exactly, the way
only a certain amount of alternatives outside of that solves that problem. You might work for another government abroad that might pay you money. You might try to go somewhere else and build something else. But you know as well as I know, as far as getting money from here, and you schooled me on it, that money is not coming out of our pockets. And the only alternative that I've heard anyone around here say is who they might vote for. And they only gonna vote based on that person's color of skin. And we have seen since Obama that voting for a certain demographic does not work unless that person makes a promise that you can hold them accountable to after their president or their mayor or whoever else. And you know just good as well as I do, it's wishful thinking that we put a black person in office that talks about our problems, that we hope that's going to talk about that same problem once they're in office and been elected. And the main thing they'll tell you once they're elected is so we can get it going again, we got another person we're trying to elect to replace me that's going to give you. And that chain of lies has gone on for the last 30 years. And I'm going to let you finish.
No, I agree. I mean, in our local election, I'll do you one better. Is that they fell victim, from the old mayor endorsing the guy who just recently won, so he can basically in control. He just recently had an emergency meeting where he gave his son $1 million. Now, of course, he explained it away. He didn't literally just give him $1 million. It's under the guise of, this corporation business thing. But he basically gave his son $1 million. But the thing of it is that the candidate I was helping try to get elected, he put it in writing. He wrote a lot. He told them in the forums. He tried to get it out there, get the information out there, but the people still wanted to believe because they wanted to believe in the other guy because he was endorsed by the old mayor or white guy endorsing this black guy because he knew that he can control this the guy that who eventually won. Like I said, man. Is the sheepest mentality. Black folks, unfortunately, which I agree with you, most of them are thinking small. They don't think if they don't think at all, and most black men don't have enough discernment to understand they can't see the forest for the trees. They can't see anything past their hand, and that's the reason why I feel that's the reason why we lost is because one. They couldn't connect with my candidate. He was the right candidate, but he was not effective enough. And unfortunately, we don't come across a lot of candidates that with the resume that he had from our community to do it. And we lost. It breaks my heart, but. I agree, but I blame black men. I don't blame the women. I blame the black men. I do.
Yeah, I've noticed with Blue Pill Brothers, man, you guys are big on that. And I'm sorry, I just disagree. I think that there's a certain amount of blame that black men should be responsible for. There's a certain amount of agency that we have and that we carry, and we should be responsible. I think we should do better politics. I do. But to just categorically blame black men just across the board for every ail that happens in the black community. I think that's ridiculous. I think it's anti-black male misandry.
Well, if a black man is going to allow a guy, an old mayor who just settled a sexual assault charge of black women, of black women, just settle and allow him to endorse you, and in fact come to you, come to your watch party, and be hugged up and take pictures with you, and that's not a man to me. That's a black man who allowed that.
Okay, that's
he
fine.
Draw the line.
But let me ask.
He allowed that. I can't blame the black woman for that.
Well,
I blame the black man who allows himself to be used as a puppet.
Okay.
And going to allow that tells me how weak he is.
Okay, let me ask you this.
That's a black man. That's not a black woman's fault. No, that's a called black man's fault.
Okay, all right. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you.
Stop giving these niggas excuses.
I'm not. But
I ain't got time to hear about that.
I'm not. Let me ask you this though. How many black women voted for the man that you said that you did not want to win? How many black women voted for him?
I'm not sure. I'll get that information to you.
So you're 100% sure. So you're 100% sure because you saw some black men endorsing him. So now it becomes all black men's fault that he won. But the same white man who endorsed the black man, but the same white man who apparently has some kind of sexual allegations with a black woman, you don't know if black women voted for him in mass.
Listen, if the dude who's running allowed himself to be used by this old mayor to run, a black man allows himself, and he knows what he did.
Yeah,
he knows what he did. And you still allow yourself, and you can use your same facility to endorse. You say, you know what? I'm not going to run, but I'm going to put my support by another candidate. He chose not to. He chose to be used like a UI, a useful idiot.
Okay.
Yeah. He chose to be a puppet.
Okay.
So of course I'm blaming the black man. I can't blame her.
Okay. So how are all black men?
In her mind, she's supporting the black man. In her mind, she thinks she's supporting the black man.
But did she know about the allegations?
But this is men talking.
Wait.
This is men talking.
Did she know about the allegations?
Huh?
Did the women know about the allegations too?
They should know.
So why would they support a black man who supports a white man who have these allegations against him? See, this goes back to our point.
No,
wait, Mr. Vidya, I wasn't finished. This goes back to our point before. You want to exonerate black women of all agency.
No, you trying
when black women they choose they choose certain black men, and yet all black men get blamed for it.
All black men being blamed for it.
Yeah, all black men get blamed for it. They chose it. You said it. They should know these allegations. They know about these allegations, but no, they're just so They're just so honorable. Wait. They're just so honorable. They're just so honorable. Wait. They're just so honorable that wait. I'm not finished. They're just so honorable that they went out of their way. They just vote for this black man. You're not talking about, okay, was this black man running as a Democrat?
Listen.
You're not talking about any other reasons as to why a black woman would vote for this man, other than to say that they're just so honorable that they just went out and voted for this black man. But they also know about the allegations.
No, you put words in my mouth. What I'm saying is no. I'm not saying. I'm saying this black dude allowed himself to be used as a puppet. And he allowed himself to align himself with a known sexual offender. Okay. Now, the black women, whoever voted for him, voted for the black man, not on the black man, not on the white dude.
All right, Mr.
They voted for that black dude.
Okay, yeah,
all right?
Yeah, we.
But he chose to align himself with a sexual offender of black women.
Okay,
all right,
Mr. Vigneault. Okay, we get it. Everything's black man's fault. We're gonna end it. Everything's black man's fault. Yeah, we get it. And I want young black men. I want young black men. If you guys listen to this conversation, this is what we're talking about when it comes to blue pill and about delusion. Yeah, go ahead. This is what we're talking about when it comes to black when it comes to black men in delusion, look, I want to tell this to any young black man who might be listening to this. Not everything is your fault. Every L that the black community has is not your fault. In fact, you were born into it. It's not everything. Now, when you start going out there, you may start making decisions about, like, I do agree with Mr. Video on this, about who you're going to have sex with and stuff like that. Then you do bear some agency, if not half of the agency. But not everything is your fault. If you have a mean, nagging, disrespectful mother, and she's emotionally and verbally abusive to you, and sometimes even physically abusive to you, that is not your fault. That is not your fault, young man. It's not your fault. You did not cause that behavior. You were born into that. Now, what you do about it as you get older and as you mature, that is on you. And some people like Mr. Vidya, Mr. Blue Pill, Mr. Vidya, wants you to keep taking that type of abuse. And there are some men who are saying, look, you don't have to take that. You either if you're into black women, you find a black woman who's not like that. And if you can't find any black women like that strikes your fancy, date out. Date out.
Period. I wanted to say this. Date the woman who's going to be there most with you when you're down, not when you're up. And you can't go wrong with that. If you meet a woman when you're down, you keep her. If you women are showing up around you when you're up, when the whatever race of women looked at you when you was down, that's the race you shouldn't be dating when you're up. And I'll leave it at.
All right, so we're gonna end it here. Thank you, Mr. Vidya, for coming up. This is our show, a conversation with a blue pill brother. Very interesting, very interesting. But I have to say, Mr. Vidya, man, you got some anti-black male misandry in there. I think you need to work on. But overall, I think it was an interesting conversation. Our next podcast is going to be about voting. I think that the name of it is praying the new voting. That's going to be the no, I'm saying it's voting the new praying. I'm sorry. That's going to be the next topic. But everyone, thank you for coming up, and we'll see you next time.